Very interesting question for you guys. If you could bring back one band to do one more album, what band comes to mind?
I got one right off the top of my head.
Shoot. Go.
It's
Hurry up.
the band from the Cantina in Star Wars.
The Star, yes.
Oh my god, that is so ingenious. Like I wouldn't even have thought of that. What was that? He had like an actual name, like the elephant-looking guy. We actually have a figurine from like.
No, you're thinking of the one
Right.
that you're thinking of the Max Rebo band from The Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
He's referring to the Star Wars Cantina band, which was from actual Star Wars,
Yes.
not Return of the Jedi.
Real Star Wars.
Like original.
Original 1977 Star Wars.
It was fantastic.
It's a Star Wars Jazz Cantina band.
They had that one song.
What's that? Play the same song again? You guys got it. And then it was the Max Rebo band played for Jabba the Hutt and Jabba's Palace.
Yes, that's who I'm referring to.
And then they had the special edition with the weird thing with the legs and the lips from the gremlin from Gremlins 2.
Oh yeah, that was in the 90s version, right?
The special edition, yes.
Right. Because I remember that. I was like, what in the holy Kylie Jenner is this?
It's probably very close to being a Kylie Jenner, but that's neither here nor there.
Can you imagine, like, she was a child watching that movie, and she's like, you know what? That's how I want to look. She goes to the doctor, and he's like, how many injections do you want? She's like, yes.
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 Are we implying that Kardashians aren't smart enough to count? Because I don't think that's entirely false.
What band was that he, like, went on stage with the shirt? Because she wore, like, I think it was Metallica. She wore, like, a Metallica shirt, and he was, like, he went on stage, and his shirt said, kill the Kardashians, and she got, like, really butthurt about it.
Kill them all? Kill the Kardashians?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
I do. So you're serious, Ron, with that being your choice?
Oh, that's who I'd pick for sure.
That's a great that's, like, ingenious.
Absolutely like to see them come back.
I never
Just one more song.
Do,
The remix?
Yeah.
It's just the same song that they come back and they release an album, but it's that song.
I'd like to go with the Blues Brothers, the original one.
Yes. Yes.
You know, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd.
They were a band?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They
only know the
actually
movie.
released like a couple albums.
Did you see
I
the
had no
movie?
idea.
They were like all covers, but it was still albums.
I mean, I love the movie.
Wait, so you've seen the movie, but you don't know they were a band?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I think
you just thought it was
actors,
just
comedy actors, as far as I knew.
I believe it was Max
Good ones.
Weinberg did the musical, the arrangement.
I had no idea.
Like they were actually really, really talented.
I have the CD. Yeah, I like it.
Briefcase full of blues.
Essential, because it's like the best of.
Yeah.
Ah.
So they did have like Briefcase Full of Blues and all that. And it was awesome. They did good stuff.
It was a great movie.
I will go as far as saying even Blues Brothers 2000 I found to be entertaining.
Oh,
It was
God,
fun.
no.
That was fun.
Ugh.
I liked it.
It's not a good movie. It's
No.
an entertaining
It's
movie.
Exactly. There's
horrible.
a difference between a good movie and like a fun movie worth watching. And Blues Brothers 2000 was fun, worth watching. It wasn't good.
I didn't even think it was like some movies are so bad that they're good. I didn't find
They
that
still
that
had
was one of
music
them.
that was solid, and I liked the music.
Okay, I can see that from a standpoint, from music aspect. So back to your question. So you said a band. I mean, does it have to be like multiple members, or can it be like a musician, like
You could
a single?
bring them back from the dead. Like,
I would most definitely pick Marilyn Monroe.
she was a music artist?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that either.
Can you name any of her songs?
Happy birthday, Mr. President. That is my pick. No shame.
I would bring back. There's a lot of choices that come to mind here, but I think the Doors didn't have a long enough run, and Sublime didn't have a long enough run.
I'd
Sublime
go
would
with
be
Sublime over the
fantastic.
Doors.
I kind of would too, because like towards the end, the Doors stuff, like with his alcoholism and all of his issues, the music just wasn't as enticing. And I hate saying that because I don't know him personally and I wasn't there, so I don't really know.
Why don't you just throw Nirvana back on there too?
Because it's the same. It's the same thing with Nirvana.
They didn't
like
have a
they
long enough run
also
either.
had. He had his own mental issues and his own things going on, and
He wasn't even the best guitarist in his band.
Courtney Love kind of screwed everything up. So I feel like those bands were great for that time frame, but had I like that saying, like, if you die young, you're still the hero or whatever, or you live long enough to become the villain. And I think that
only became about because of Batman.
Right, but I'm saying that quote is it still applies to this type of scenario where these bands were really great, but had he have lived longer, had they have stayed together longer, would they have continued to put out good music, or would it be pure garbage?
I still stand by. I don't think the Doors are bad. I don't think Nirvana is bad. I think their biggest claim to fame is that their frontman died early. It's the same thing with Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin wasn't that great. If you're gonna go off of the whole 27 Club, what is it? Van Damme from Leonard Skinner and Jimi Hendrix were, in my humbled opinion, bigger losses.
Mm-hmm. So I'd argue I love Sublime. I think the music was fantastic. But I'd argue that their music were very hit or miss. Some of their songs just flat out sucked.
I totally agree.
I think that's the thing with all of those bands. Their good songs were very, very good, and their bad songs were terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They just rushed. They didn't. I wouldn't say rush, but they just jammed.
But that's just it.
Hit record and jam. I don't care if the song's a minute, 2 minutes long.
Just have fun. But
their self-titled album has 15 tracks on it. And there's 5 songs that are under 2 minutes. They're just just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just it. As you look at Nirvana, Nirvana has some terrible songs. So do the Doors. That's another thing. Like Pink Floyd, everybody goes fucking crazy for Pink Floyd because they know the stuff they play on the radio.
Their first 8 albums were
just noise. They're literally just noise.
Jamming and.
That's not even how I feel about Tool. Everybody likes Tool, and I'm like, I don't understand or care for it. I mean, yeah, that comes down to everybody's personal preference, but do you feel like, okay, like the bands that lost frontmen early in life, like 27 Club style, is that what pushed them into the front of America's mind to cause their fame, to cause that trendiness? So then we have to take a step back and say, so yeah, they might have been talented, but were they talented enough to deserve that type of fame? Most musicians, when they die, they become even bigger celebrities. Like, even look at Michael Jackson. When he was alive, everybody talked so much shit about him. The minute he died, we love Michael Jackson again.
Oh, no, I was making fun of Michael Jackson. And that's just it. Michael Jackson was loved, but Michael Jackson wasn't put in the position he was kind of by choice. He grew up with such a messed up childhood.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, it was a very sad story.
Personally, I often separate the art and the artist. I think Michael Jackson's body of work didn't get a whole lot more famous after he died. I think him as a person, people are like, oh, we love Michael again. They kind of forget about the bad publicity he got before his death.
Wait, so say that again. So you don't think that his fame rose after his death?
Not musically, no. I think his music was already, very good. I think he's a very good musician and artist, but I don't think his music got any more famous after he died.
I would say
I do.
I would think album sales would go up.
They did.
But album sales going up isn't necessarily.
Did.
I'm not saying that they did or didn't go up. I'm not saying that necessarily equates with his fame going up or down. It's just him being brought at the forefront of their mind, and them going, "Oh shit, he's dead."
Right. Let's
not so much.
The music. I see what you mean.
He was already on the top, so
it was one of those
album
things,
sales went up. You're like, I can't go any higher than 1.
Pretty much.
I'm artist 0. I don't know.
I mean, I think you would be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't know who Michael Jackson was.
I agree.
So did his fame go up? No. Did people go, oh shit, he's dead, let me go buy an album or two because he's a great musician? I could see that happening.
I agree. I think that's exactly what happened.
When an artist dies, they should stop producing the albums so that it's rare to get those items. That blows it all out of the water because everything's digital now, but in a perfect world, I don't know. That's so stupid.
So what's your pick? You didn't pick a band.
Oh, I said Sublime and maybe the
Doors.
Right, I wouldn't say Led Zeppelin. I love Led Zeppelin, but I wouldn't say them because they had, they have a bunch of albums. I would not say Pink Floyd because they have a bunch of albums. I would not say. I don't know. Give me some examples.
That goes back to what I was saying.
You could go with The Who. With Keith Moon dying, that was a big breakup.
Right. Right.
Blind Melon.
I would say Neil Young.
Neil Young is still here. He's just an asshole.
But again, that goes back to what I was saying. When people outlive their
I think he still makes music. He's just an outspoken
because everybody
person.
always says like, "Oh, I love that band, but I like their old stuff better." So it's like all the bands whose people died early and they made good music.
Well, that's just
and everybody else that lived is
Neil
like,
Young's music hasn't changed.
Now.
It's now more or less just the way he speaks, and a lot of people don't want to listen to him.
Right.
So he's still there. He can still go out tomorrow and record an album. It's just the fact that he's kind of a douche canoe.
That whole Neil Young sound isn't really there, in my opinion. It's not the same vibe that
what
I was
Neil Young are you talking
before.
about, though? Are you talking...
Young Neil Young.
Again, you have to be way more specific. Are you talking like Buffalo Springfield, Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Are you talking like the Old Man? Are you talking
Old
Harvest
Man, yes.
Moon?
Yes, Harvest Moon, Old Man. That type of
that's the type of stuff. You know, you're going rocking in a free world, things of that nature.
I just feel, again, the newer stuff to me doesn't have that same... I mean, yeah, Neil Young sound, but sound is interpersonal to the person hearing it. And just, in my opinion, it's just not as good as his old stuff, as his other songs. Maybe I should rephrase that. I just don't like his new songs as much as I liked the old songs.
I will pose the question to the three of you. How many artists have made multiple albums where you were completely happy with all of the albums?
Never.
Green Day.
I can't even think of one.
Green Day is only consistent because Green Day blows.
I know you don't like them,
What?
but they're
Green Day blows.
No,
Billy Joe Armstrong
is awesome.
sucks.
Oh, I don't care for his personal politics. I think the band's...
If I want to listen to rockers,
punk. He's supposed to be like
he's
that.
not.
Yeah,
punk.
that's their
punk.
persona.
They're not jazz.
They're closer to alternative.
Yeah, they're alternative rock.
If I want to listen,
I don't know. I
fuck them.
consider them punk. I don't
They're not
consider
punk.
them.
No.
Well, it's like saying
they are not there with like the Ramones or anything like that, or even the Clash.
No,
And if
Well,
I get what you're
that's true.
saying.
That's like very punk.
like NoFX and the Dwarves. Those are some good punk bands.
If I want to listen to somebody who's wearing eyeshadow and painting their nails, it's gonna be the fucking Cure.
Not Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper is an artist, not a band.
Once
But you
again,
said
I
somebody
separate
wearing
the
makeup
artist from the
and
artwork, and
stuff,
I don't
so-
care what they dress like or what they wear. I like the sound. And
But
I've liked Green
unfortunately,
Day's music
not
as they've
everybody
grown.
does that. The American society, not even American, but just people in general, we don't always separate artists from personal lifestyle. A lot of times that goes hand in hand, and that's just because the drama sells. And I think that's not the right thing to do, so I agree with you on that standpoint, but that's just not the way the world works, unfortunately.
So, do we got any other artists or bands, groups?
I'm surprised you didn't say Pantera, babe.
I was definitely thinking that, but they had 5 solid albums. I'm thinking bands that were kind of like Jimi Hendrix, 3-year run, like.
Jimi Hendrix was phenomenal. He is one of the few people that I was like, yeah, he deserved all the credit he gets.
He released a lot of music in those 3 years, so it's like we have a lot to work with.
If you're going to bring back a band like that, bring back Blind Faith.
Tell me about Blind Faith.
Blind Faith was one of the original supergroups. It was Clapton, Steve Winwood, Rick Gretsch, and I believe Ginger Baker. So you had like half of Traffic and half of Cream. All phenomenal. Good album. They made one album. And it was just really good. You have phenomenal musicians all the way around.
I got another one. It's like super groups, Mad Season.
I have no idea who that is either.
Right? I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Season.
It's
I don't know that one.
Singer from Alice in Chains. And
wait, like the new singer, like the singer,
the old singer
that we saw.
Because he passed away.
What the singer that we just saw at the concert? What was that, like last summer or 2 summer ago?
William Duvall.
William Duvall. All I keep thinking of is Shelley Duvall.
Oh.
Can you imagine that? Like,
do the Yardbirds count? Can you bring everybody from the Yardbirds back?
Well, did somebody pass away? Like, you're bringing them back from...
I'm sure someone passed, but I would like to see back Clapton and Jimmy Page all play together.
okay, we could put in like retired in there too, like
but
they
you
don't
never
use music
specified.
anymore.
You didn't specify dead, like, passed away. You just said bring them back. So bring them back as in bring them back into the spotlight, bring them back from death, or bring them back like the band broke up.
Yeah.
So all of the above?
All of the,
okay, I'm just wanted clarification of the posing question. This is Jeopardy.
What should never be?
Zeppelin.
Very good, very good. You win the points.
Isn't the answer supposed to be in the form of a question, and the question be the answer?
No,
Yes.
they give you the answer, and you have
is.
to ask the question.
Yeah, but I already just asked you a question, and you gave an answer. It's not Jeopardy.
I also said a song title.
I don't know.
I think we're all thinking way too far into it.
Oh. So you know what I discovered yesterday, and it shocked me to my
Oh
core?
boy, hippos
Cannot
can't
swim.
Do they just
Hippos
What?
cannot swim.
walk along the bottom? Is that what they do?
They walk on the bottom. Yes.
And they float. I know they float.
No, they don't float. They're too heavy to float.
They just bounce, like
They
'cause
bounce
always,
off
like,
the
they're
ground.
like really graceful, like little underwater.
Yeah, walking on the
gazettes.
ground, and their mass is so heavy that it allows them to propel themselves through the water.
Oh my god, I love hippos.
Well, it has little to do with their mass and more about their buoyancy.
They're not buoyant.
They're not buoyant at all.
Are you serious?
Because
Yeah.
you can have something that's super massive and just has a lot of buoyancy.
But like
and it'll
elephants
float.
can swim.
Like Jupiter is incredibly massive. It will
I find
float
that
if you had a
so
bowl
hard to
large
believe.
enough.
There's no way that they don't swim.
They don't swim. They run across the bottom.
So then how do they get back up?
I wouldn't
Like,
say
can
run.
they drown?
No, they bounce. They jump.
Do you guys remember, like, when, what was it, like, baby Fiona was born? She was, like, the cutest little purple thing.
I don't remember that
The
at
fuck
all.
is a baby Fiona?
No, it was
Like from Shrek?
a baby hippo that they had. I think it was, like, the Cincinnati Zoo. You guys didn't hear about that? It was, like, all over the news. She was, like, a tiny little nothing and
Was she hungry?
premature. And
Not
she
the
was.
hungry,
She
hungry
was a
hippo?
hungry hippo.
Did they drop a bunch of marbles on the ground?
That would have been pretty cool, but no. There's a couple documentaries about her if you wanted to learn
No,
more.
they don't swim. They run. And they bounce.
That's
Isn't
I
there
never
more?
would have known that.
They are also susceptible to sunburn.
That I did know because that was in the documentary. They had to like keep lathering her skin up. It was weird because like when she was born, she had like this purplish, like dried out like raisin skin, and they had to like keep putting this special lubricant, I guess, to protect her skin.
Yeah, but their like skin is legitimately like 2 inches thick.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Like a thick
That's
ass hide, huh?
crazy to think that it's so sensitive, but to have such.
Well, that's why they don't have any predators.
Well, they also have like the strongest jaw in the animal kingdom. A lot of people don't realize that more people are killed by hippos than they are lions each year.
I was gonna say, but you beat me to it. That's fine. That's fine.
Very dangerous animals. Very dangerous.
I wonder what the statistics of that are.
Speaking of danger, I want to know what your thoughts are. If you think we're gonna go to war or not.
About what? Oh my God, I'm so out of the loop. What's happening?
The politics, the war with China.
After 9/11, there's 9/12.
You guys don't know what's going on with China right now?
You have to be way more specific. Are you talking about the Uyghurs? Are you talking about the expansion in the South China Sea? Are you talking about the Chinese embassies in San Francisco and Houston? Are you talking about the repression of the people of Hong Kong? Are you talking about the fact that they own TikTok and are stealing everybody's data?
That's the only one I know about, and that's because I'm a girl and online a lot. But
Or the
I don't know about any of these
concentration
other
camps
ones.
that are actually running right
Yeah,
now?
those are the Uyghurs.
So yes to all of the above.
Wait, so like this is like a real thing? This is happening?
Yes,
Oh,
China's
yes.
a real
It
place,
is.
and it is
No,
awful.
Tom. I
No,
meant like the
the-
situation is that extreme.
Yes,
like,
the
severe
political
to the
atmosphere
point
with
of,
China
like,
right now is horrible.
So like
Trump
the brink
signed
of
the,
World War III?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
we
Get the
forgot
hell
we
outta
forgot
here.
their border conflict with India currently now
Yes, and I think it's Saudi Arabia's on the other side of them. Don't quote me on that, but
too.
they
And
got
India?
yeah. Who's on the other side? It's a Turkey,
It's Pakistan.
Pakistan. Thank you.
And Iran.
Pakistan and China both have troops lined up on their borders, and India's
But
basically
Pakistan
like
and
saying, "Bring
India
it."
have always they've been beefing over Kashmir for the longest time.
Yeah, and on top of that too, Australia has gone to the UN saying that they're not going to remain neutral. They will join U.S. forces in stopping China from taking over more of the South Chinese Sea. China's been actively spying on the American people, and then America went in and nabbed one of the guys who issues passports in the Chinese embassy in Houston, even though technically it's sovereign territory.
Wow.
I thought that was after their 3 days they had to leave, after they burned all the documents.
Yeah, they were burning documents after they were told to shut down the embassy.
Yeah, they were stealing technology from
Plus
Texas A&M.
The executive order that Trump signed saying that they're no longer going to honor the treaties, don't quote me exactly on that we had with Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is essentially no longer autonomous.
Yeah, China's supposed to leave Hong Kong autonomous until 2047.
And because they haven't, Trump was like, okay, we're not going to treat you as if you're not China anymore.
Yeah. Is they just arrested 3 Hong Kong independence people,
mm-hmm.
and they issued a bunch of arrest warrants for others because they are, subverting the authority of the Chinese there.
Yes, there's a lot going on too, and additionally we've got the coin shortage, which some people are speculating is because we're gearing up for war, needing the metals. I don't personally think that, but
yeah,
also
crazy.
The war budget, the budget came out, and the war allocation within that budget is huge. Like, you look at it and it's like, what are we getting ready to go to war? Huge.
Well, I mean, logistically speaking, war against China is a little outrageous.
Why do you say that?
Because the closest bases the Americans have there would probably be what we have stationed in Japan and what we have stationed in South Korea.
Okay.
So we would back.
Okay, I see.
We would back India, and India would let us put bases there. We could put FOBs in there.
We could, but the terrain going from India to China is predominantly mountainous.
Doesn't mean we're not going to put air bases there.
We could, but air power, you can only project power with air. You can't control the ground. And even then...
If you control the air, you control the ground.
Yeah, but that's what they have aerial denial for.
And?
They don't need the jets. Jets are expensive. You know what's not expensive?
People.
Missiles.
Missiles are very expensive.
Not as expensive as a jet.
People are significantly less as expensive than missiles or planes.
Well, you know what? As awesome as it would be, you know how big of a catapult you would need to launch a person at a jet?
No, but we've also could station we've got Hawaii, we've got Australia, and Japan.
Japan and South Korea are your closest places.
Yeah. South Korea may or may not let us operate out of there.
We've been operating in South Korea since the 50s. They're not letting us leave.
But the bigger question is going to be, I would personally say that Russia would back China. You've got Pakistan would back China.
You really think Russia would back China?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely, for their economy and because they want to take over the land. They want more control.
Yeah, they have expanded into the Ukraine and the Crimea. So,
mm-hmm.
And they've been eyeing parts of the old parts of the Soviet Union.
And then, arguably, Hong Kong would try and join and fight back. They could ask for British assistance again. India could ask for British assistance.
You got the Republic of China, too.
So we've also got Trump is right now pulling out troops from Germany, saying that they haven't been paying their bills, but they're being restationed in Italy and France, which is arguably strategically better if we're going to war, ground war with China.
Do we actually have bases in France?
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
So since they're pulling most of the things from China, like you said, with the treaty, this whole issue with TikTok, is that like out the window then? Are they going to be pulling all of like the China-based apps?
TikTok says they're not going to back down. I didn't read the full article.
Trump issued a statement, I don't know how to say this, to China saying that they need to pull out all of their interest in TikTok. So there was talks of selling it to Microsoft.
Okay.
But I think it should be outright banned. The amount of data that is collected in TikTok is insane.
Isn't this the same thing that happened with that one app where everybody downloaded it to make themselves like look old and look young?
I don't know.
What was the name of that one?
I know what she's talking about, but I don't know the name of it. Yeah,
because they kept saying it was spyware, and
yes,
that
and
they were
nobody
collecting
thinks
data
about that stuff.
of Americans and storing it for use. So, like, I mean, even now, because, I mean, maybe not as many older people use TikTok, but the younger generation does. And that's scary because the younger generation is our future. So if their data is all stored...
Yes, people do get old and die.
No, but we're going to end up dying because they're idiots that have no concept of anything.
Exactly.
So the fact that young people right now are outraged over things like racism and classism and arguing that America's classist and racist, but they have no issue with the camps that are operating in China, with the fact that China is just letting places like Wuhan flood underwater. They don't care about those
the
things.
Three Gorges Dam being full.
It's full and overflowing, and China's just like, fuck it, let them all die.
That's sad.
So where does Japan stand on what side do they choose?
Japan and South Korea kind of hate each other, but South Korea and Japan both hate China more.
Yes, and they have a common enemy in China.
So,
and technically, Japan is not allowed to have a standing army.
They do have their defense force.
They have their local defense force, but they're not allowed to have a standing army. We are supposed to be Japan's army.
So World War II.
World War III.
World War II is America against Japan, just a part of it. And now World War III, we have Japan on our side?
Yes. Military-wise, we are essentially Japan's big brother.
You don't think that they would harbor any, resentment towards us if we went to war?
They hate the Chinese.
Yes, absolutely.
Hate the Chinese.
The Chinese were terrible to Japan.
The Japanese were equally terrible to the Chinese.
Yeah, for sure.
Long and the short of it is, Asian people are not good to other Asian people.
They're not. They're very racist people, actually.
I also
they're
feel
racist cultures.
Right now, all of the issues going on with, the BLM movement and everything, I feel like a lot of that is, one of those, hey, look over there. Well, this is more important, but we don't want you to know about it type of thing.
I think it's a huge distraction that the Democrats are using.
Thank you. You said it a little bit better than me.
But I will openly state that I do not support the Black Lives Matter organization. It is a horrible, horrible organization that does absolutely nothing for the black and brown community. Donations made to the BLM as the company, the organization, go directly into Democrat pockets. If you click the link to donate, it takes you to Donate Blue or something along those lines, where it's a Democratic funds collection site. So if you donate thinking, I'm donating to Black Lives Matter, you're actually donating to Democratic parties. I
actually read a document about that, an article that just came out. They were saying, some guy got caught. He was I can't remember specifically, and I don't want to say anything incorrect, but from what I remember, he got caught embezzling, he created some kind of a fund that was supposedly attached to the BLM movement, had a bunch of donations, a large amount of money, and basically stole it. Didn't use it for what it was supposed to be used for, and then they did some digging in his backgrounds, and he was supposedly had felonious backgrounds and crime and stuff. And
it does not surprise me at all. Especially the leaders of the Black Lives organization are open Marxists.
What does that mean? Specify.
As Marxism.
Communism.
Okay.
Yeah, Marxism and communism is a little bit different, but yeah.
Communism is a diversion of Marxism.
Marxism is a subset of communism, I believe.
No. Communism is a subset of Marxism.
Okay.
It all comes from the Communist Manifesto.
Okay.
Written by Marx.
Karl Marx?
Yep.
And they also openly denounce the nuclear family, which, in my personal opinion, is the one thing that could really help a black and brown communities, is bringing back a solid nuclear family.
Statistically speaking, and again, statistics can and will lie because it depends on who's manipulating the numbers.
The statistics don't lie. It's people use statistics to lie.
Numbers, yes. Mm-hmm. Is the greatest indicator of success isn't your race, it's if you come from a nuclear family.
Yes,
you have
absolutely.
Two parents, because black people and white people coming from the same socioeconomic background will perform on average the same.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get your differentiation is the breakdown of the family.
Yes.
And the breakdown of the family started back in the 60s with the Great Society.
Yep. And now that you've got BLM, the organization, openly stating that they want to break down the nuclear family.
Entirely?
Yeah. I mean, it's on their website. It says that they want to destroy the nuclear family as an idea.
Why?
I have no idea. Personally, I have my personal, opinions on why they want to do that.
standard manipulation tactic.
Yes, it is.
Well,
when you want to manipulate somebody, you isolate them from everybody that cares about them, so they only have one option to go through you so that you can manipulate them to do what you want. That sounds very, very much like a manipulation tactic.
It's part of the
and
bite
that
method.
is sick, because then that means that there's underlying reasons that all of this is happening and that this was fucking planned. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't mean to get all...
No, I completely agree. I think it was planned.
It's very frustrating.
My personal opinion, and we kind of talked about this in the last episode about conspiracy theories and whatnot. So this is just my opinion, is all it is that this was planned, is that they are being manipulated and used. They are pawns and foot soldiers in someone else's grand scheme to tear down what America stands for.
And the sad part about it is most of them don't know that they're pawns in this game. And the ones that have heard about that, they no, that's not true. That's not true.
There's a lot
they
of
try
denial
to say
and
that
cognitive dissonance.
the denial, but then they also turn it on you and try to say, well, you just don't agree with the movement, so you're part of the problem.
Well, that's just it.
Well, you're a racist.
You don't want
That's
to
what
go
I
back
mean,
and bite the
in
hand
finer
that feeds
terms.
you. Why are you going to go against somebody who promises you everything? And that's why everything gets promised like that. Why should you raise yourself up? Why should you do the hard work when we can just give you things? And again, that's not me personally denouncing some of the ideas they have. I think that police brutality and misconduct is a bit of a problem. Not as bad as they make it out to be, but it's something that's been there.
I think that's how they skate by, is on the whole, I would argue that most people agree with a lot of the sentiment that the organization is trying to push through. I don't know anybody personally that's like, yeah, police brutality is great, or yeah, we should have more, control. Nobody wants those things. I mean, everybody thinks that police should have some sort of reform. Our prison system should have some sort of reform. But to try and tear it all down by saying things like defund the police, what do you think is going to happen if there's no police?
Anarchy.
Absolutely.
Pure and simple anarchy and chaos.
And I would posit that if we hypothetically did defund the police, you would have a period where it was pure chaos. But then you would have rich, mostly white people hiring private security forces. Then you would have these same people that argued to defund the police to say, well, it's not fair. Poor people and black people and brown people can't afford the same security forces that white people can. So we need a universal police system, or universal security system, which is the police force. It's cyclical if you're trying to get rid of it. I would personally say that the police need to be held to a higher standard. If an officer breaks the law, murders someone, mishandles, abuses their power, they should have harsher punishments than an average citizen. That's my personal opinion on that.
I agree with that. I do too. I feel like they abuse their power and they get away with things that a normal citizen would get slammed for. And I think it's time that reform happens. And there's many standpoints that I agree with, but there's a lot of things about the way they're going about these movements that I don't agree with.
And
the rioting, the looting. A lot of people are using that as a scapegoat to join in the looting. They don't.
There are a lot of
forgive me. They don't give
there.
a shit about what the situation is. They're just like, hey, I want a free couch. I want a free bed. I'm gonna go and take advantage of this situation, and that's horrible, because then it gives them the entire movement and all the issues. It gives a bad rap. And it's like, okay, so you're going to go and mess up buildings and neighborhoods that you live in, which in turn causes people to have to leave those neighborhoods to get food for their family. Mm-hmm. You're taking money out of those parents' pockets because they might be employed at those locations. A lot of those locations were actually black owned.
Yes,
and if the government wouldn't come in to fix it before, when it was a piece of garbage, do you really think they're going to go in now that you've destroyed everything?
And something else they don't want to mention, because you mentioned the riots and what's happening to black-owned businesses and black-owned neighborhoods, was that, I might be misquoting this, but from what I heard, is that more black people have been killed during these riots than have been killed by police in 2019.
I heard that too.
I don't know if that's a true statistic or not, but that's something I've heard.
The police kill on average 3 people a day, which is again an average. So you have shockingly white people get killed by police the most. Then you have black people, followed by Latinos, and then the lowly Asian, because nobody ever cares about the Asians.
Because they do extremely well in the country.
Yes. So it's not so much a minority thing. But if you go off of the statistics, it should be white people, then it should be Latinos. So why is there such a disparity there? Why is there such a discrepancy?
It's crime rates. You would expect to see a number of people shot based on the number of people committing crime, regardless of the color of their skin.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting back to what you were saying too, Tom, or what I was agreeing with, is that the left BLM movement, Marxist, something that they often do with sneaking things in is use of language. They say things like be anti-racist. Because I don't know many people that are like, racism's a good thing. Generally, most people say racism is, on the whole, kind of bad. Being prejudiced, we don't necessarily agree with it. But then they say things like, it's not good enough to just not be racist. You have to be an anti-racist. And you, me, and the person next to me, we all think, well, anti-racist means you're against racism. But no, there's a whole bunch of baggage that comes with the term anti-racism. And a lot of it's coming out of things like White Fragility, the book, which is a horrible, horrible book. And these concepts that have no data and no testing and no observations behind them. They're just bold claims and people buy into it, and I have no idea why.
What are the bases? Like, give me a rundown of what the book is about.
White Fragility?
I've never heard of that.
White Fragility essentially claims, and same thing with anti-racism, essentially claims that if you are white, you are inherently racist. It's
my God.
It doesn't matter. You have, it's a Kafka trap essentially. If you deny being a racist, that's what racists do. So it's clear that you have white fragility then. Or if you accept it and say, okay, I'm white and racist. So that's kind of like white
privilege type thing?
They're very similar, exactly.
Just for the record, I don't believe in white privilege.
Absolutely not. I think
it's a bunch of
some
bullshit.
People have privilege in different areas.
I think there's rich privilege, but I don't think that there's white privilege. And then there's going to be some people that say, oh, well, that's easy for you to say because you're a white girl. But no, the things that I've experienced personally would disagree with everything that is supposedly white privilege.
Well, and that's
but
the thing.
But then they come back with it and say, oh, well, you could be a special case.
That's another thing is you can't go off of anecdotal evidence.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will go off of anecdotal evidence.
But then the left also likes to use things like, well, you can't deny my personal experience. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. I don't care about people's personal experience when we're talking about whole
as a
swaths
universal,
of people.
Right?
Exactly.
The mass majority, especially like that's the same thing with being a democratic society. We're supposed to be universal as a whole. Everybody's supposed to have a say. So, yes, you might have had an experience that was derogatory, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But for that specific issue, we need to have a mass majority of people with that same experience in order to exact change.
Not necessarily when we're testing something like that. So I would like to clarify. One, we do not live in a democratic society.
Well, we're supposed to be living in a democratic society.
We are a constitutional republic, and that guarantees our individual rights. This is very much more important. If I don't agree, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. I don't like to frequent bars. I don't necessarily think that bar should be shut down. If you choose to go to a bar and have a drink, go ahead. I don't care. Just like me owning a gun. Some people say, like, I don't want to own guns, and you shouldn't own guns. Well, too bad. It's a constitutionally protected right.
Right.
So living in a constitutional...
I own a gun.
Exactly.
Don't fuck with me.
That dog will don't know what happened to it.
Oh,
I agree with you, though, on those standpoints.
His ATF trainer.
Oh, God. So this is legal? Yes.
Really?
This is legal? Mm-hmm. If I put these together,
like?
That's legal. That's a felony.
What?
I've already shot your dog.
Yes. Oh, poor dog.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of.
But you don't know what that dog did to me.
I've seen what you did to that dog, though.
Ew.
Why are you taking it?
I don't know. I just.
Is it the suspiciously low amount of peanut butter you have now?
Yeah. Wait, what? I've seen that movie.
Comedic relief.
So I do think that we have stepped back from the precipice of civil war, but as we started, talking here, I think that we are inching closer and closer to an actual hot war with China. Some people say we're already in a cold war with China.
Do you think it'll be nuclear?
I don't think so.
No.
What do you think as far as... Because everyone's always said, like, if World War III was to ever happen, it would be the end of civilization. So what do you think will be the main points if, or should I say when, because from what I'm hearing, it's basically a when, not an if.
Probably chemical warfare,
No.
which we might have seen.
Don't need chemical
China
warfare.
might use chemical warfare. I would not put it past the Chinese Republic.
Well, then let me ask you
chemical
this.
warfare.
Do you think this entire coronavirus thing was a biological attack on America? Because I do.
I think the most logical explanation for the coronavirus is that it was in a lab because the Chinese are trying to catch up with what we do in Atlanta. And there was safety precautions that weren't followed. And it escaped. It wasn't released intentionally. It escaped. And I don't think it was designed per se, because if you want to design a disease, you could design a disease and kill everyone like that.
It was clear that the coronavirus was manufactured.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We use manufactured diseases all the time in helping to find cures and vaccines. It's usually a lot easier to use a manufactured virus than to find out which vaccines will work and which ones don't. But I do wonder if it was designed to hurt and cripple the American economy. Because I don't think China necessarily wanted to just kill people, like just to wipe and eradicate it out. But if you put something out there that's harmful but won't really kill people but can cripple the Western economy, that puts China as the front runner for the next superpower.
So great, you cripple the American economy, but that doesn't hurt. Does that hurt the government too?
I think that hurts the Chinese government because their entire economy is based off of being mass producers.
Yeah, but they don't produce for just America.
No, but they produce for the West.
And then if they can become the world superpower and our mass producers, now you are the only producer. What is that? Monopsony?
Monosopy?
Yeah.
But the other problem you have to remember is that Chinese technology development is stealing from Western countries.
Yeah, until you take over. And then it's like, okay, we stole from Western countries. Well, now we're on top. So we just take it because we're in charge.
I don't know. I don't necessarily see that happening. That's going to require a lot. Though, if you were to ask how I would envision that Third World War to start or that Cold War to go hot, hackers. Look at the power grids. Look at all of the things in your houses. How hard do you think it is to flip the switch and turn off the power plants?
Yeah.
How hard is it to flip the switch and turn off air traffic control? Any of that.
But so what would that in turn do? Like, would that be an economic crash?
What are you going to do without any power?
Well, I mean, that's right now specifically where we live, they're pushing solar power. A lot of people are getting solar power installed into
Is it still
their
connected to the
homes.
grid?
I'm not sure.
If it's still connected to the grid, they can shut it off. What are you going to do without power?
Well, I mean, it's not impossible to live without power.
Okay,
but
what are you going to do without power?
me specifically?
Yes, if your power is out for a week, what are you going to do?
What about
I'm
generators?
going to light some Yankee candles and I'm going to have me a yoga session.
Yeah, for a week?
For a lifetime.
How long is your food going to last?
It depends on, well, there's the farmer's market down the street.
Yeah, how long is the food at the grocery store going to last? You just asked, what's the worst that's going to happen when the power is off?
My point is that it's not impossible for people to live
Well, of course it's not
electricity.
impossible. We lived without it before. But in
Right.
the modern society now, what are you going to do?
That
Your
adjustment
power is
period
off
is
for
really
a
hard.
week. Just a week, not even that long.
Well, I mean, the human body can be sustained.
Yes, but we're not out
at
here to be
least a week.
sustained. What are you going to do with your food? What's going to happen to the grocery
The
stores?
food is going
Generators
to
are fine,
spoil
but how are you
because
going to
there's
get the
no
gas out of the gas
electricity.
pumps?
We have kind of recent examples. We had that blackout on the East Coast.
And that was only a couple of days.
Exactly. And it got real hard for people.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a hard situation to
Do you
be
have a
in.
landline
I'm just
phone?
Not saying. I personally.
Do you have a
no.
landline phone?
No, I personally do.
All right, so what happens when your phone battery dies?
But I'm again.
Can you get help
Yes.
without your phone battery?
Yeah.
How are you getting help?
Smoke signals.
There's no service on the phone at the towers.
Yeah, there's no towers.
Smoke
There's none
signals.
of that. You got no landline phone. Hey, how are the dispatch centers working? They've got power because they got generators, but how long's that going to last?
So do generators
a month or-
like individual generators? Do they only hold a certain amount of power?
Yeah, they run as long as they got fuel. How you getting the fuel out of the ground? There's no power.
So what about solar power in and of itself is still attached to
To the grid. Yes.
So basically, if the grid goes down, then it's just going to be harder for everybody because we're so modernized.
I will collect calculators and take the little solar and add them all together.
Excellent. So, Tom, you don't think that China wants to be number one?
I think China wants to be number one, but I think, if they were to, say, chop off the American economy at the knees, that domino effect towards everything else would thus hamper them too.
So, they're still being up top.
See, I think that they would also go down at the same rate because now their GDP is down. Now they can't they've got nothing to manufacture. So now they have to artificially inflate everything else there.
One, I don't think that they're against doing that. They will harm their own people to get ahead. The Chinese Republic will.
I agree.
But the other thing, and a lot of people don't remember this or think of this, is they have a neighbor to the southwest that is just as populous and is arguably even cheaper now.
Taiwan?
Southwest.
India?
India.
And you know what? They're going to war with India.
Do you know what India has that China doesn't and is arguably the biggest assistance for the economy?
Sacred cows.
Well, besides the sacred cows. And no gold. You are in a modern economy. What is one thing that will help you out in the business world?
Rice.
No.
Bullets.
No.
I would have thought it was gold.
Not gold.
Yeah, gold's huge. It's still huge.
Silver.
Nope.
No, silver's, you can't trade the market with silver. So silver is the common person's currency.
But it's not like a precious gem or precious metal.
Bitcoin.
Nope.
People.
What about the people?
Cheap
medical
labor.
advancement?
It's not cheap labor. I believe it's 10% of their population speaks English.
Then why do they have such an issue when they come here?
Because they speak the Queen's English.
They
Okay.
speak fake English.
Ew.
But they
speak
can
English,
speak
not American.
English. What are most business transactions done in?
USD.
And what language does that entail?
They are.
That was good. USD.
They are. I mean, well, that's another question, too, is that right now economists are projecting that the USD is going to crumble as a fiat currency.
Yeah, but we've pegged everything to the U.S. dollar. So
Exactly. That's
everyone
a problem.
has, and you're right, that is a problem. But as of right now, almost all business transactions are done in English.
And the metric system. English
Yes.
language metric system.
Well, you have to balance out for the rest of the world. There's only two types of countries, those that use the metric system and those that have gone to the moon.
That's true. But we went to the moon on the metric system.
Still went to the moon.
Supposedly.
There is no supposedly we went to the fucking moon.
We talked about this last
went to
time.
the
We
moon.
settled. We have gone to the moon.
Supposedly.
You know, even Joe Rogan admits that we went to the moon now. And
Fuck Joe Rogan.
if there was anybody who was like a moon landing denier, it was Joe Rogan.
Just get the fucking telescope and point it, and you'll see the reflectors.
Well, you need a laser for it, but
No,
yes.
you can. They've got the reflector.
Yeah,
right
and
out.
how much is that?
A tremendous
Exactly.
amount of money.
Yes.
doesn't mean it's not possible. Doesn't mean that a private citizen can't do
Anything
it.
is possible, right?
No.
Musk has been trying for a while.
I think the moon is made of cheese.
And it's hollow.
The man in the moon.
And the earth is flat.
You would love that.
Well,
Tom.
actually, if you actually go into the whole Earth is flat thing, they do make a lot of good
No, they
points.
don't.
No, they do
No,
not.
There
they
are
don't.
a lot of
No,
good
they do
points
not.
They
in
are
that.
idiots. No, there are zero good points about it.
Please.
At best,
Stop.
At best, I am a pseudo-intellectual, okay? I am
I'm
not
sorry.
smart.
I'm not trying to get everybody
However,
started. We'll do conspiracy
Flat
episodes.
Earth conspiracy is
at a
Oh,
later-
no,
at a later date.
It's already opened. Let's do it. The Earth is on a turtle, right?
Yes, it's
But
turtles
if
all the
we're
way
gonna go
down.
with anything, it is on the back of a turtle floating through space.
Oh, like in
It's
like in
turtles
it?
all the
It's
way
in
down.
It or Discworld. Take your pick. If you want Terry Pratchett or Stephen King. Though the one in
Oh, it's
Discworld,
also in Futurama.
though the one
Oh,
in
no, that was a
Discworld,
stingray.
it is a
It was a
turtle
stingray,
being carried by 4 giant elephants.
Okay, I do want to open this up. What about quote-unquote flat Earth theory, end quote, intrigues you? What makes you think it sounds like a sound argument?
mainly the one thing that intrigued me was when I did some research about Antarctica and about how people have been trying to cross and go into Antarctica, but there's an area in Antarctica that is literally you're not allowed to go into. So basically it's like an Area 51 type situation.
Who stops you from going in there?
Some type of government. I don't know if it's American government. I don't have the information off the top of my head, but it is a theory, and they do make a lot of valid points. There's a couple legible people who are actually pretty liable that have tried to go down there. They've tried to sail down there and then get off onto the continent to go to this area, and they were stopped before they even got close enough to the coastline.
I'll get you there.
So I don't know. That's one of the main things that I heard that I was like, well, that's pretty interesting.
Do you know what is required to go to Antarctica?
Yes.
Like the sheer amount of financial resources.
Yes.
And and the sheer amount of equipment and gear you need to survive.
Without a doubt.
Well, again, I'm just
asking.
This is
there
was a couple people that had actually
to the middle of Antarctica
and went. They did a whole.
Or you go anywhere in Antarctica and you have the smallest of mishaps. Who's coming to save you?
Oh, you're dead.
So you are in such a dangerous place that if anything goes wrong, you're dying. Hey, idiots!
Right, it's one of the harshest environments in the world.
That's not true though. Before COVID, you actually could vacation in Antarctica for about $12,000. I mean, I don't have $12,000 to just drop on it, but you could. A private citizen could go there with a passport and travel. And in fact, if you wanted to, as a private citizen, you could make the attempt to cross Antarctica from one point to the other.
I can get you $12,000.
Let's make it happen.
I'll have to get back to you with like the whole, like all of the correct data from what I'm referring to, or I can even put a link in the description.
But there are like dangerous places in Antarctica.
But my standpoint from what I mean is that there's an actual, I don't know if it's government, if it's agency, but there are peoples that are stationed down there that refuse anybody from crossing into this specific area and this specific zone. And if you were to pull it up on Google Maps and look at it, it's blurred out. It's a specific area. I don't know longitude or latitude off the top of my head. So like I said, I'll have to get back to you with those. But it's an interesting read. It's an interesting concept. It's something that
even if
I always believe that you should always look into things.
Even if
don't just believe what you're told.
Let's accept that this is true. We'll take it as fact that there is a geographic location as part of the continent of Antarctica that as a private citizen you are not allowed to enter into. How do we go from that to the Earth being flat?
Well, the guy was saying that he believed that, and I just want to clarify, I don't believe that the Earth is flat. But this guy in this documentary, he believed that the reason that you couldn't get to this specific location was because that's where the edge of the world was. And so if you were to go past that, you would fall off the edge. And so the government was hiding everything, and it was this big cover-up. He didn't specify. He said it was a big cover-up because they didn't want us to know that that the world is actually flat, and that everything up in the sky, like in space and stuff, is just a projector, like a projected image of things.
So there's only one space where the end of the world is?
No, there's two spaces.
But it would be flat, so it would be,
circle.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's a flat Earth, you should
there's three spaces.
You should have edges. You should have edges.
6.
You should have at least one giant edge.
I agree with you. There's a lot of holes in the theory.
You use the term theory very loosely here when we're talking about flat Earth.
It's still one of those things where it's like, whether you want to read about it because you want to be educated or you want to be entertained.
Again, I don't think you read that very educated. You read it and go, wow, you people are stupid.
But I want to point something out. We live on a spheroid, right? And Antarctica is a continent on that spheroid. And because of that, the Antarctica has its own circumference. You can sail around Antarctica. Even if you said there's this place that we're not allowed to go to as private citizens, you could sail the circumference of Antarctica. And now, given the size of our Earth and the size of the continent of Antarctica, it should take you a very specific amount of time. Say X. Now, if we are a flat Earth and using the AE map, I forget exactly what this stands for, but it's the projection, the flat projection of the Earth onto a circle, it would take you significantly longer amount of time to sail around, quote, around Antarctica. Lasers, exactly. So because we can time how long it takes a private citizen, or any ship for that matter, to sail around Antarctica without ever setting foot on it, we can tell how big that Antarctica is. And that time should be significantly longer if it was a flat projection.
Has anybody ever been to Antarctica that you know of?
No, not personally.
No.
Has anybody ever been to the moon that you know of?
Buzz Aldrin.
Personally?
Neil Armstrong.
I'd like to know him personally.
Neil Armstrong.
Doesn't his initials come out to like alien? Did you see that?
Yeah, Neil A or something like that?
Yeah. And it's backwards, it's alien. What's up with that?
Oh my God, no. See, I didn't even know about that. Now it's like the wheels are turning. I'm like, it makes sense.
Well, I do firmly believe that there is other life outside our universe. I mean,
from the last conversation,
well,
did
no,
you
because
see that documents that they released that I had we talked about?
You know what, though? They did say something about that, and there was a CIA agent that sat there, and he went, I love it when people sit there and point to the sky and go, UFO. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they're not going CIA,
CIA.
not USA. It is a UFO.
Yes.
And once he said that, you're like,
Spycraft.
you never think of it that way. And they have high-resolution satellites. The two best ways to get information are flyovers and boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
No, I'm not saying I don't know if there are intelligent alien beings that have visited Earth, but I think there is most definitely a high probability of there being life somewhere inside of our universe.
Did you not see the
that is not on the
documents
planet
that they
Earth.
just released?
During
Quarantine. They released these documents. The CIA released 3 documents finally admitting to, and I guess through FOIA, that there were extraterrestrial encounters. There's 3 documented cases that they have finally made public.
But I want to point out,
One of
I'll
which
ask you
was
the same
Roswell.
question I asked last time. Do you trust the government?
Fuck no.
No. Do you trust the documents that the government releases?
I don't trust.
No.
No.
So
But
then
you
you
trust
can't
these
use it.
documents.
No,
that
but
they
I'm just
put
trying
out,
to say,
though.
did you get a chance to
No.
read them? Did you get a chance to look it over?
No, I
since
don't know
we
where they're
talked? Okay. Well, I'm sure they're online somewhere.
Any
Someone's got screenshots.
discussion that comes to extraterrestrial life always comes to nothing but terrifying conclusions.
The truth is out there.
Either we are alone, and that is terrifying. We are alone, and they know that we're here, and they're avoiding us like the plague, which is terrifying.
Why are those terrifying, though, to you?
Being alone
Yeah.
is terrifying.
Why?
Why?
Because of all of the spaces, all of the galaxy, all of the things out there, we are all that is in the universe.
Yeah,
Why would that be a
mathematically
terrifying-
possible,
It's
just highly
mathematically
improbable.
possible, but highly improbable.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought of just being alone. Don't look at us as a community of people. Look at us as one entity.
You don't have to be alone, Tom. I'll hold your hand.
I don't think that that's a terrifying thought.
It's if you are one person in hell, even say a city-like area, and you are alone, and you are the only one there, that's not a terrifying thought.
I'm an introvert. I like to be alone.
But you are
I mean,
only alone
know me, so-
forever. There is nothing out there. It is just
Do you
you.
think that I would have an issue being alone forever? If
I think-
if I had pig,
I think, and there's your key word.
I would have my stuffed animal.
But
that's
just
not
it.
a person. That's
but
not
you
a
needed
being.
something with you.
Space is so vast.
That's
that
not a.
to have this little.
So when you're
speck
saying
of
alone,
humans,
you're saying like me in a white room with nothing. It's
You
just me
in a
floating in existence.
Field with nothing.
But a field and grass and life is something
Just the
that's
grass.
tangible.
You're not forming a relationship with the grass.
But the
You
grass
don't know
is still
that.
other
That's
life.
like forming a relationship with the volleyball. Wilson.
But that's just it.
It's
humans.
not a living thing, but it's still
but humans have such a need to connect with something.
we are very
right.
social
But so
creatures.
saying that we that I couldn't connect with the grass is hypocritical to what you just said.
Yes, but
just said
why
I
are you
wouldn't be
connecting?
connecting
Why are
to
you connecting
grass.
with the grass? Because there's nothing else to connect with.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's nothing, I picture nothing like me floating in space in like a white room like Willy Wonka or
Even if you did
style.
that and you had nothing to connect with, you're going to go mad. Even if you just
I'm
had
not
to grasp,
denying that. I'm
you're
not
going to go
denying that
mad.
you're going to have mental, psychological breakdowns.
And
I
that
agree with you 100% on there.
is terrifying.
But I don't think that it's a terrifying thought for me to say, oh, there's not other life in the universe aside from us here on Earth. But again, that does play into the fact that there's other humans, there's animals, there's plant life. So there is life on our planet. So maybe that's why it doesn't terrify me to say, okay, well, if there's nothing on other planets in the universe, I don't give a shit.
Like, if you were the sole person on Mars, you're the only one there, how long until you break down?
Well, I think that's each interpersonal, person by person.
But eventually they're going to break down.
And I'm not disagreeing with you on that standpoint.
So the fact that we would be the only ones in such a giant place where there should be, is terrifying.
I wouldn't even say should be, though, because it's I don't know. I just don't personally feel like, I don't know. I don't think that it's terrifying, but everyone's entitled to.
Well, what are the other outcomes, Tom?
I forget what the dark forest theory is, but I'll look that up in a second. But the other options are they're avoiding us, and then you'd have to wonder why they're avoiding us.
What's it called, Ron?
What's what called?
You said dark
forest theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what is dark forest theory?
I'll look it up in a second. The fact that they're just avoiding us, or the fact that they're hostile. Look at any major colonization of.
I would feel more like they would be hostile.
What if they're just bacteria?
At this point in time, they might just be bacteria.
Yeah. What if they were great and then crumbled and all that's left is bacteria?
Is there water on
Which
Mars
is also,
or another planet?
That's more.
There used to be water on Mars.
I absolutely
They would have to be bacteria, thus proving
wouldn't
that
have to be. It's not like a requirement. But I absolutely believe
like
that there's
sterile
water on Europa right now.
So the dark forest theory holds that civilizations fear one another so much that they don't dare reveal themselves, lest they immediately be considered a potential threat and destroyed. That is dark forest theory.
If we found another alien civilization, we won't reveal ourselves because we fear that they would conquer us and vice versa.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree. I think that's a very plausible thought. Because, I mean, look at it from the standpoint of our government. If we were to come across a civilization, or, I mean, even think of, like, things that have happened in history. Like, Christopher Columbus coming, and they're like, okay, well, human nature.
You don't even have to look at it that.
You're going to conquer me.
Look at the primitive tribes in the Amazon.
It's
what happens when
concept of
anybody
fear.
comes across those tribes in the Amazon?
They get spears thrown at them.
And killed.
And why, though?
Because they're afraid.
That's what I'm saying. So
why that was a completely logical response.
Right. I'm agreeing. I'm saying that that's the most logical thing that would happen in my mind if they were to be afraid of us or we would be afraid of them. It would go both ways. I can't even
If
speak.
a spaceship was to appear magically tomorrow,
are you sure it's magic and not just sufficiently high enough technology?
it is sufficiently
like
high enough
stealth
technology. But for our primitive minds, it is basically magic.
Yes.
Well, they just declared something about the invisibility cloak that they are releasing. That was this week.
It's not really invisibility.
Well, it's stealth to the point of almost invisibility. So, the document or the article was Harry Potter cloak is about to be real.
Stealth to the point that your optics can't pick it up.
Right.
But it's not stealth. You can pick it up with FLIR. You can pick it up with
a couple years old.
Heat. You can pick it up with anything else.
They just were talking about it.
No,
the
it's been around.
technology was like 2013, but then they actually did like a prototype development this
7
month.
Years. That's lifetime for technology.
That's a dog's life.
I'm saying that there was something about it that they posted this week about it, like prototypes or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Then she's 14.
No, she's going to be 13. She's 12.
Who are we talking about?
She's 12, going to be 13.
She's 12, going to be 13.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm so confused.
My dog.
Oh, I love your dog. Aww.
But I was saying that, I mean, you guys leaped immediately to high technology, like high civilization aliens. I'm saying that I personally think at the very least there are other single-celled organisms somewhere in our universe.
And that's at the very, very, very least.
I think at the very least. I think it's probable that there's more, something higher life form than that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we found other single and multi-celled organisms in our own galaxy, places like the underneath the ice in Europa.
So they just went into a cave. I think Mexico, could be Peru.
The sharks.
What?
Is it the sharks?
No.
No? Oh.
They went into this cave that's been basically sealed off, and they found, like, there's water there that's been untouched for, let's just say, 1 million years, because I don't have the facts in front of me. But
you're talking about like the Kunta Cave or whatever it's called with the K?
I don't know the name of it.
There was like
literally
giant.
just happened.
I read that yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
So I think that's the same.
But what was there? I didn't hear this. What did they find?
It's water that has been untouched. So like, I believe bacteria that's nowhere else in the world is growing in there.
And there was a lot of animals that obviously had adapted over time, so they were like,
because they've lost their eyes.
Well, there was like one fish that had like a clear head, but then a solid black body, and his clear head, like you could see, and he had like basically he had human eyes.
Cool.
And then there was like a centipede that looked like a regular house centipede, but it was massive. So there's all these elements that went into it. So these creatures and these animals were, since they were in such extreme environments, they developed faster than normal. And I believe it's called like Kunka Cave or Kunta Cave. It's like Kun something cave.
Kunta Kinte.
I know. I keep wanting to say Kunta Kinte, and I was like, I literally hope somebody says that.
I haven't heard of this at all, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I just read about it yesterday, so that has to be the same thing that he's referring to, but I'm not sure. Let's see what he says. Is that it?
This is the Mobile Cave. New animals discovered in the cave sealed off for 5.5 million years deep below the surface of Romania's county lies Mobile Cave, which remains cut off from the outside world for 5.5 million years. Let's see if I can find another one, because I don't think that was it. Mobile Cave and its unique ecosystem. 33 creatures were trapped inside the sealed cave. That's probably there was a new one that just was found. If you guys find it, let me know. How exciting.
Yeah, I know, right?
I would love to go to a cave, explore. Didn't divers get stuck in a cave?
Many people.
Yeah, that was the one in like Thailand, wasn't it?
Recently,
they went in, and then
it was like the
high
soccer
tide
team.
Happened. Yeah, and then the high tide.
They got stuck in there for a while. They had to drill them out.
Did they get out?
Yeah.
They were in there for days, though.
Yeah, they actually like dropped food and stuff in there for them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's called Krubera Cave.
So what about this
not
cave?
Kunta.
Do you have the article up now?
This specific article says centipedes from hell found in the world's deepest cave, and it's in, I'm gonna totally butcher this name, Krubera Cave in Abaxia, Georgia, is the world's deepest cave, reaching a depth of 5,610 feet.
It's an old Sovietsky place.
Mm-hmm.
So
Georgia's beautiful.
See.
Have you been?
No. It's a beautiful country.
And it's in Croatia.
Oh, you just said Georgia.
It says I'm just reading off what it's saying here.
Georgia is a country.
I know. We were agreeing to that.
Yeah.
It's on the southern part of Russia. Over by, was it by Chechnya at all?
Lurking in some of the world's deepest caves is the aptly named Hades centipede just discovered in Croatia. And where is the other part? I was just reading.
I want to know how big these centipedes are.
15th deepest cave, Krubera Cave in Abaxia, Georgia is the world's deepest. I mean, it's...
Well, that you just gave us two different things.
I'm literally reading it here.
You think caves are this silent?
Do you want me?
Caves
do you
are
want to
cool.
see or? Tell me to
I'm
send you
gonna
the
Google
link.
it.
Have you ever been inside of any cave before?
I have not.
It's nice.
Should be the first thing
I
that
recommend
comes
like
up from
Mammoth Cave.
Sugar.
Acacia,
If you want to see
Georgia.
some really cool caves.
Yeah.
If
There's
you click
one,
on the document, and you
the
scroll
animal.
down,
I
can't
you
remember
see
the
where
name
it
of it,
says Croatia.
But it's got this lake that you can
It's
get
got
on the boat
springtails and
and like take a little ferry ride there, and it's beautiful. I saw this like 5-minute little blurb on it. I want to go travel there sometime. I got to find out where it's at.
So you can see
Do you see it?
we collect rocks
I'm looking
from
at them.
all over the world.
It says Croatia, and then it says.
I'll let you
Well,
see
no,
it. It's actually
Krubera
pretty cool.
Cave
It's
is
very
in
beautiful.
Chechnya.
Even
not
visit the
Chechnya.
limestone caves down near Starved Rock. Well, it's taken by.
Oh my God! Please do not throw that.
It's a rock.
No, those are precious minerals. That is actually
Rock? Is it real rock?
No,
It's mineral.
It's cheese. Take a bite.
It's mineral.
What kind of minerals?
It's malachite and azurite,
Which are
and
both.
it is. I'm sorry.
Which are both
Minerals.
rocks.
It's from the Congo.
Yes, that one is actually from the Congo.
That's cool. No, that's really cool though. I'm just giving you a hard time because they
We
are rocks.
collect.
Is that a rock joke?
Yes.
We collect lots of
No, it's your time.
precious minerals,
pretty- I've
rocks,
seen it. Pass it back.
crystals.
You want me to toss it back?
Oh, Jesus Christ. You guys don't understand. My crystal rocks are my babies, so please put that back gently.
Would you guys go to a? We should bring the podcast to a cave
I would
Yeah.
never in a million years.
That'd
You
be
could
cool.
go without me.
and
Nope.
collect rocks and talk about it. And
I used to go camping in the limestone caves.
I do not like
down
bugs.
by
I don't like the
Starved Rock.
outside. We can go to a 5-star hotel and I'll
There
be
were
there.
bats that flew back and forth in and out of the cave entrance, like when you're sleeping.
We can go to the zoo where
Isn't
they have
there a
like the fake caves.
You haven't
I'd
been
do
to
that.
Austin when the
Yeah.
bats come out from under the
it's
bridge.
called.
have you?
It's
No.
literally
No, I've
called.
not.
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
every day.
That
right?
would be cool. That's something that
The
I would
millions
do.
of bats that just like.
Because I really like bats. So that I'm just not. I mean, when I
What's wrong
think
with the
caves, I
caves?
think of like bugs and spiders and like. Ugh.
They're cold. There's not a. I mean, there's bugs, but you don't notice a lot of them because they're dark as shit.
See, that is what scares me. Like even that sound, like that freaks me out. Like being in a dark space that's like there's echoes and then you like hear things scurrying in the corners. Like, plus I don't like. I'm afraid of bears and I just am
Bears
not.
don't traditionally stay in caves.
What would scare me the most about caves is sometimes the roof will shear off and you'll have large chunks of rock just drop.
Oh, see, that does just make my fear even more.
Mario
so.
has been training us for years for this.
No.
Virtual reality cave. All right, there we go. Now we're in. Are you in?
I would love to. I would like to do like a virtual reality thing in general. Like I wanted to do like the Stranger Things one when it came out. I would like to do. Just virtual reality plays.
Don't you have a
plays
VR?
fun.
Yes, you know how many times I've used that headset?
0.
Once?
Still in the fucking box.
What kind of
Are
headset
you
do you have?
serious?
Bring-
I've
Just
got
bring
like
it
a
next
Samsung
time.
one.
Oh, okay.
Got it for Christmas like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
And
they're
you've
cool.
never
All
used
Star was
it.
like, "You're gonna like it," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm never going to use this."
The HTC
Why
Vive
not
I've
even
used.
try it?
I just don't have the time. I invest my time into other stupid things.
We have a lot of stupid interests.
Well, then you're bringing it here, and we're gonna have
We'll
your
do it on the
first- Your
podcast.
first
Yeah.
experience will be on the podcast.
You get to tell him what to do. You don't get to tell
and
me
then
what to
it's
do.
gonna go just like this.
I've used the Vive. It's really fun.
I would love to try one. I've never actually done one before.
I don't even know if my phone would even fit in there anymore.
Oh, it might not because you
It-
might have
it
had an upgraded
expands, right?
phone.
My
It goes-
phone? No, my phone.
No, the
stays in
VR
one-
thing. It goes.
What part of I've never taken it out of the box do you not understand?
Obviously, I don't understand.
Do you do any flight sims, Tom?
I've done it in the past.
Because you can splash top those things like those VR face masks to your phone, and then when you move your head left and right, you can set them up so that way when you look left and right on your head, it's moving your camera angle in the game.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun time.
So all I'm saying is, it'll be fun. Try it out. $5.
I think it would be a great idea to try out.
Again, you get to use those lines on her, okay? You two
Come on down.
don't get to
Try
don't
the
get
VR.
to influence me.
$5.
He's not. He doesn't want to be influenced by
As far as the-
influencers.
Come on down.
As far as the podcast
Try
and the
the
cave
VR.
goes, is that just going to be a pillow fort?
Oh,
Do you
that
wanna
would
build
be
a
fun,
fort?
too.
Kinda,
I
yeah.
want to build
Yes.
a fort.
Okay, so we're all agreed.
So when's the last
Pillow
time you
Fort
built?
podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it. I don't know. It's getting weird.
Why is
How's
that
it getting weird?
We've
Forts
all
are
agreed
awesome.
to it. We all said it was awesome.
4 adults and
Yes.
under a blanket with a podcast.
Adults by age only.
I wish that they had like do you remember those places like when you'd go to like Chuck E. Cheese and they'd have like the tubes that you could go in?
Yeah.
I wish they had like an adult play place like that. I mean,
think
like
those are-
I'm short enough to still go in
I
one,
think
but
those
I
are
fitting those
feel like
tubes anymore.
Yeah, I
super
think those are
weird,
two-gun
like-
action matches now.
Yeah. But there was a place, like, it was like Super Chuck E. Cheese. It was
Right.
just, what was that place called?
Odyssey Fun World.
No.
Discovery Zone.
Discovery Zone. That place was awesome.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Wizard's Quest.
No, I don't know that place.
Oh, you've never done Wizard's Quest?
I've never done a
Aw,
Wizard's Quest.
bro.
No.
Oh.
It was the coolest experience. I mean, if you're ever in the Dells, Wizard Quest is where it's at.
I've played a lot
Shout
of
out to
D&D,
Wizard Quest.
but I've never done
Oh.
Wizard's Quest.
It was
It's just
by
Kitty Vegas.
far the most interactive, the most fun, the most entertaining thing I've ever done.
What is it?
It's well, it's hard to explain. So you go and you basically do different types of quests, and the inside, and I don't want to give anything away, but everything is tangible. So it's not like CGI, it's not fake. You basically you enter like this fantasy world.
Cool.
And there's like fairies on the ceiling, and you have to like search for different ruins to fulfill this quest.
It's multiple levels. They give you...
You have to like go through slides and climb through stuff and
They
figure
give you an
everything
iPad.
out.
which gives you clues, and each clue will give you to the next clue. So it's not necessarily a treasure hunt, but you get clues to get you, and you're timed. Multiple levels. You can go down
Right,
slides,
you get
stairs.
1 hour to figure everything out and to do
There's
it, and
different-
it's a lot of fun.
There's different realms. There's the water.
Yeah, there's like fire, water, wind, and earth.
So you're an
And
airbender.
different fairies
Nice.
and stuff. And,
The
I mean,
Avatar.
we're not explaining it to the best of our abilities, but trust and believe if you were to look up like online how it looks.
There's a room with mirrors.
It is
and you
so
gotta look for clues
cool.
in the mirrors. There's secret doors. Oh, it's
It's
phenomenal.
awesome.
So it makes me think of like a fantasy version of
An escape room.
Well, yeah, but City Museum.
Right.
Have you ever been to City Museum in St. Louis?
Negative.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Even my fat ass crawls through those little things. Like I almost got stuck a few times.
What's
but
the
it's
one-
so worth it.
Is that like the one where they have all like the art thing? There's like an interactive art museum somewhere where you like come into the room. It's like a house that you go in inside like a soundstage, and then to get into like the fantasy world you have to go through like the dryer or the oven or something or the fridge.
I don't know if I'd enter the fucking fryer
What
or
is?
the
Do you know
oven.
which one I'm
I
talking
think
about?
I think I know what you're talking
My
about.
I
Right.
can't
told
remember
me
what
I
that
can't
one's
go through
called,
the
but
oven.
You gotta
I've
go
always
through
wanted to go to
the-
that one.
Dryer to get in.
And it's like once you go through the dryer, which is actually just like a
Didn't they have
slide
a
or
book
a
like
tube.
that? Narnia.
That was a wardrobe.
It was a wardrobe.
Yeah, that's
And
similar. Yeah.
No,
Similar
because those
concept,
kids were
but-
already dead.
Really?
Have you not finished the Chronicles of Narnia?
No.
So the whole time they were
They
just
were
dead?
all dead. Yes, that's all a Jesus allegory.
Oh, and Aslan's god, isn't he?
He's like
A
Jesus.
Jesus
I've heard that.
allegory.
But I didn't know they were all
They
dead
were all dead. They were all killed in the Blitz,
What's a blitz?
during the World War II.
the Nazi
It
Blitz.
happened in a
London.
ballroom.
They were all dead.
In the ballroom.
The ballroom blitz.
I don't remember. Yes, there was a ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
They
See,
were all
I
dead.
really didn't know this. I've only seen the movies. I never read the book.
so I don't know how good classical literature was.
Oh my god. The only book that I've ever liked better than the movie was Blood and Chocolate. I don't know if you've ever read that.
No.
That's the only book that you've liked better than the movie.
Yes.
Have you not read a lot of books?
No, I've read a lot of books.
And do you think the movie adaptations generally are better than the book?
Well, I wouldn't say generally, but that was the one where I was like, this was a complete waste of my life watching this movie. It was that bad. Like, the book was so epic, and then I was so excited to see the movie, and I saw the movie, and I was like, I wish I could go back in time and take back those 2 hours. There's other adaptations of books, movie-wise, where I'm like, oh, that was okay, but it was not such a train wreck like that one was.
There are
can't-
so many terrible movie
I
adaptations.
can't think of a movie adaptation that I actually prefer over the book. I can't think of one.
I can think of movies that are very good adaptations.
Yeah, there are good ones, but I
Which
can't
ones
think
do
of
you
ones
think are
where I've
good?
seen and been like,
Jurassic Park,
yes.
Edge of Tomorrow, Kubrick's version of The Shining,
Okay.
other ones.
Did
that
you
are
watch
based
Doctor Sleep?
I have not watched Doctor
That's
Sleep
good.
yet. Is it?
I've never
Yes.
seen that either.
I haven't read it yet either.
What's
though.
Doctor Sleep about?
It's a continuation of Danny Torrance from The Shining.
The little boy grows up.
Oh.
What were other good ones? Now I'm on the spot and I can't.
Yeah,
think of
come
them.
I really wish Stephen
Lord
King
of the
would
Rings.
have a. Oh, it was,
Lord
yeah,
of the Rings
okay.
are good.
I really
Not
wish
so much The
Stephen
Hobbit.
King had a
Yeah, I wasn't crazy
new
about
run
the Hobbit movies.
on movies.
Small.
You know
A
what?
guilty pleasure
it
of
wasn't
mine-
the greatest, but The Mist was a good
It
adaptation.
was. I actually really liked it too. But a guilty pleasure of mine are old Stephen King book movies.
Like Cat's Eye.
Yes. Oh my God, it's
Cat's
so bad.
Eye,
But so
Salem's
good.
Lot.
Yes.
I really,
The Langoliers is
The
Salem's
awful.
Lot was
that's what I'm gonna.
awesome.
I love the Langoliers. Like it's horrible, but I don't know. Your mind starts going, and you're like,
You had The
Yes, I
Stand.
love
The
those
Stand
you
was
feel me on that.
garbage.
The Stand was not garbage.
It was garbage.
I liked The Stand.
Have you
It just
read? Have you spent the 3 years it takes for you to read that book?
No.
So that's why.
Yeah.
That's why
And
we
it's
liked
way
the
better.
movie.
Oh, it's not even comparable.
That's one thing I don't care about.
The Gunslinger was awful.
The Tower movie.
The Dark Tower.
The Dark
Yeah.
Tower. God, that
That's
was
the
a horrible,
Gunslinger.
horrible adaptation of that book. But I'll tell you that one thing I find about Stephen King's writings is it can be a bit dry. He will go into so much detail about what texture the paint is on the wall.
Well, it's like
Right.
reading Tolkien.
It's an
Tolkien's the
overload
same
of
way.
information
Yeah.
that it take. After a while, you're like, I can't take in any more information.
What were some other good? Cujo was a decent movie.
That was fun as hell too with the dog.
Yeah, the kid should have died at the end though.
They all should have died at the end.
They always should.
The original
What?
It. I loved the original It movie with what's
Tim
his name?
Curry
Tim Curry
and
as
Elijah
Pennywise.
Wood?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but
Those
I
are so
preferred
good.
the new, the,
Oh
the
my God,
remake.
get
The
out.
remakes
Tim.
was
Get out.
was an actual made for
had it made.
theaters movie. It wasn't a made for TV movie. It's
The
a
remake
huge
was
difference.
such garbage.
I just did not. I don't know. I really liked the remake.
I think the best part of the
I thought
remake
it was awesome.
was Bill Hader didn't know that Skarsgård could look two different directions at once,
that was
and
so
then he
awesome.
did it out of character, and Hader flips the fuck out.
The
because
portrayal
you
of
would
Pennywise
assume
in
that
that
that's
movie was
CGI,
hot
and then
garbage.
you're like, holy shit, he actually did that. Like, he can actually look like two different ways. Like that. I'm
Jaws
sorry.
was
he
a good movie. that was
such
another
a good
book
performance.
adaptation.
So Pennywise
Oh, we're forgetting the best book
was the alien,
adaptation.
right? Like its
He
true form
wasn't
was
an
an alien.
He wasn't an alien. He was more of a demigod. And Pennywise the dancing clown was a she, and she was pregnant.
Pennywise was pregnant,
The dancing clown, yes, was a she.
and
Wasn't it like an interdimensional being?
It was like a demigod.
Yeah.
Okay.
so there's other ones in space out there.
There's
Well,
one
no,
other
it
one.
was
There's
demigod.
a-
There was only the one, but it's kind of like Randall Flagg or the Crimson King. You have to read more Stephen King for it to make sense.
Yeah, it's
That's
again,
one thing
it's
I
a
do
lot
like
of
about his books
information.
is a lot of times there's crossover, like more like Easter egg crossover than actual crossover.
Well,
They all
I
play
think of
in
it
it.
more like Pixar and Disney, how it's like a universe.
Yeah, that's
so
a good
like
way to
all
put it.
of
The
Stephen
King
King's
universe is
works
good
are
like
in
that.
the
Yeah.
Stephen King universe.
And he does a good job with it. And he's had some awful books.
Yeah.
Oh, Misery was a good adaptation.
Does he still write books?
Yeah.
As far as I know, his son does too. He's pretty good.
Joe Hill.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Nosferatu was a terrible show.
I didn't see it.
2 years ago, when Hallstar and I went to C2E2,
Mhm.
we sat through the screening and we were like, this is hot garbage.
I've got her version of Nosferatu sitting on the bookshelf, and I haven't opened it up yet.
It's decent.
Yeah.
He did, what else did he do? He did a couple of books that I read, and I was like, all right, these are good.
I'm a huge, huge fan of Stephen King's short story writings. I love them.
Hearts in Atlantis.
I cannot get enough of them. I wish he would do more short stories and novellas.
From a Buick 8,
Even the girl who loved Jim Gordon,
Tom Gordon.
Tom Gordon.
You're thinking of the commissioner from Batman.
Yeah. Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Gordon was the baseball player.
Yeah. Have you read that one though? The girl who loved Tom Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, I'm just referencing these Stephen King stories that, not a whole lot of people know about for giggles and shits.
You might be.
You mean like the girl who gets chased by the bear and she gets
Yes.
through? Yeah.
And
No.
she falls.
Never.
She
Don't
gets
know anything
diarrhea.
about the fucking book.
She gets diarrhea and falls back into her own shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's a
That's-
great story. It's a funny part in the book, but it's an awesome novella.
It is pretty good.
Oh, but you know what my favorite novella of all time is Ender's Game. Before it was put into book form, before he finished it.
Okay.
And
Ender's Game was solid.
And because that ties right into the movie book adaptations. The movie was such garbage. It was so bad.
What was worse though, that or World War Z?
World War Z was terrible too.
I liked World War Z.
You
Again,
just
I
like
didn't read
garbage.
the movie.
You know what? I think.
I didn't read the movie.
If World War
I didn't
Z,
read the
I liked
book.
it too.
If World War Z didn't have the title World War Z, if it was like generic zombie movie, I think it would have been better.
Yes.
Because as an adaptation to that book,
Isn't there supposed to be another one?
I hope to Christ there's fucking not.
I hope they just redo it and do it right.
You know
They
what?
are. They're doing a remake of it.
I have come under the belief that instead of a 2-hour movie for books like that, I would rather it be like a 10-part, 20-part
Yes.
miniseries.
Like HBO or Showtime miniseries.
yes.
I think that'd be do much better.
I'll even settle for like AMC.
Yeah, even if movie companies saw that because of COVID and kind of the way the industry's going, if they were like, movie theaters aren't really going to be a thing anymore, we're just going to go to our own dedicated streaming service and everything's going to be like a 10-part miniseries.
Well, they're already doing that. They've even contemplated opening up like drive-in movie theaters again.
They have.
And
They're
like
open.
speaking of miniseries, they're actually remaking Lord of the Rings.
No, they're making a prequel. They're doing the Second Age.
Oh, they've decided to do the second
It's
age
the Second
now?
Age, yeah.
I heard there was
thank
a
God.
unfinished sequel to Lord of the Rings, the trilogy or the book series.
The Silmarillion is kind of like the rest of it, but that was
I don't
just,
know. I didn't read the books, but just what I heard.
That was just Tolkien writing crazy things because he's Tolkien.
Ah.
But I think my favorite Lord of the Rings fact, and it ties back into how we kind of got on this, was Tolkien and Lewis were writing in competition against each other. Yeah. But I know it's going to come as a shock, but Lewis was definitely the heavier, like, Christian person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, with their whole Jesus allegory line.
Yeah.
So then, if you were to take one book or book series and make it into a mini-series, what would you choose?
Battle Royale.
They already made that new movie.
That was a horrible adaptation of that book. That book is amazing.
What's it about?
It's like what the Hunger Games was kind of based off of, but a lot cooler and a lot bloodier.
I'm going to go with a favorite of mine and go with Red Storm Rising.
I don't know that one.
Tom Clancy book.
Hmm.
And it's basically an adaptation of 7 Days to the Rhine. Well, not so much an adaptation, but it's based off of like the 7 Days to the Rhine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the end of the Cold War, everything's going to shit, and the Russians are like, well, we're not going to let them know how fucked we are. And they launch an invasion of Western Europe. But it doesn't go nuclear. And like they go and they invade Iceland and that, and it's really good. And I mean, Tom Clancy was Tom Clancy, but some of the things he pushed in that book, when it actually came down to like the Gulf War and that, came out to be true. Like, helicopters are not your best friend in a combat situation.
No, absolutely not.
Because they get shot down like it's their job.
Yeah.
Which I always found was funny. But you know what he pushed a lot in his books, which turned out to be true?
What's that?
The Devil's Cross.
What's that?
The A-10s.
Oh. Yeah. Bird.
Are they ever going to make another Grand Theft Auto? Or are they just going to keep...
They're just going to keep
milk the
just
shit
like
out of
fucking
that game.
Skyrim. Just like fucking Skyrim.
I thought they were making a new Skyrim, though.
Yeah,
like a
Skyrim
new
5 for PS5.
I thought they were making like a new one, like
No.
a Skyrim 6
No,
or whatever.
no. I
just-
mean, they very
you
well
sure?
might be, but I'm just going to go with no,
Oh.
because they can keep harvesting more money out of Skyrim.
Yeah, they can. And GTA 5. I fell off on GTA a long time ago, though.
Yeah, I gave up on GTA.
You know what I fell off of a long time ago? Was the Call of Duty series.
I like 'em.
I disagree. I love Call of Duty
I
still.
haven't played anything new. Nothing since like Modern Warfare 3 or whatever it was.
Really?
My
Yeah.
last one I bought was Black Ops, and I regret it.
Black
Oh
Ops, I
my
didn't care
God.
for. I didn't care for Black Ops.
Did you not like Black Ops?
I will say the original Modern
There's
Warfare and Modern
There's two
Warfare 2
different
were
companies that
amazing.
make it. And they
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But my problem, and I wish I would have bought Skyrim over Black Ops, is being a semi-functioning adult, is I don't have the time to invest in the multiplayer. And with like Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, they had those storylines, and I loved
Yes.
the storylines.
The story was amazing in those two
And then
games.
you get to 3, and you're done in a night, and you're like, the fuck is
yeah,
this?
Yeah, you get like maybe an hour or two of actual like solo play.
And I don't like that. And I don't want to come home and get skull fucked by 13-year-olds and fucking guys in China.
That's
I
just
don't
'cause
want
you
it.
suck at the game, though.
Get good. I don't have the time to get good.
Neither do I, but I still do okay in them.
I just don't want that. I
Like,
would rather play my single player games and nerd out that way.
I like those fast
I
twitch
agree with you.
FPS games. They're fun for PC.
I can never catch up on anything.
Now,
with
it's
Call of
completely
Duty.
different if you're like, hey, do you want to do like the Spec Ops missions or like the Nazi zombies?
I can't
Alright,
even
I'll
do
go do
Nazi
that.
zombies.
You know what I wish there was more of is couch or local co-op games.
You mean like GoldenEye?
Yes.
I'd bring back GoldenEye if I could.
Oh, that would be everything.
I love co-op games. There was a Tom Clancy game.
Rainbow Six?
No, not Rainbow Six. The
That was a good
spy
book,
ones he
too.
did. Splinter Cell.
Oh,
Splinter Cell was awesome.
Yeah, I loved that series. The whole series was good. But there was one of them, maybe more, but there was one of them that had a co-op version where you were both the spies, like going through the missions. I love doing that shit. Co-op games definitely get me.
Now, I guess my question to you is, you have a little bit more experience than I do. When you play like Nazi zombies or games like that with people with, you know, a door kicker mentality, do they do better or worse than, you know, the guys that just play via video games?
My personal experience is that they do better because they understand how to work as a team, even if that's just in a video game.
Okay.
Like, there was a Halo, I don't know if it was Halo 3 or whatever it was, but one of them had the versions where you could do 4-player local, and there was just wave after wave after wave of
We
bad
did
guy that came in there, and you tried to survive as long as you could.
Did we ever beat that?
I love survival.
And like, I don't know who it was. I know it was me. It was Tim and James. I thought Boko. Maybe you were there, but I thought it was Boko. And
No, I remember this because we were all just, it was a blast because we were running out of ammo all the time.
But then all of a sudden James is like, I'm bored. I'm gonna run outside and see what I can do. And like we had gone for so goddamn long. We were like gonna like make world-ending high scores on this game, being facetious. But then James, who just wants to play for fun, was like, I'm just gonna run outside and start shooting things. We were like, dude, we had a solid plan. What the hell are you doing?
He's like, plans out the window.
Yeah. He was like, Leroy Jenkins. We were all like, what the shit?
Are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't aggro all of them.
I can't wait for the new Halo game.
I love Halo. That was like one of the very first games I ever played.
I'm glad Halo's finally coming
We
to
beat
PC.
those on Legendary together.
Oh, yeah. Dude, we rolled them.
ODST.
I love ODST. Everybody knocks it, but it was probably my favorite of the Halo series.
I do. I think my favorite response they had was, "Are you guys gonna do a BR? Are you guys doing a battle royale?" They're like, "The only BR we need is this battle rifle."
Battle rifle. I like that it was essentially, what the fuck's the name of the show? Firefly, but
Yes.
it was like Halo Firefly because all the voice actors were in it.
It was delightful.
Do you guys only play like console games, or were you ever into PC?
Please
I am-
get out.
Clearly not trying to build a new PC.
I am a PC gamer at heart.
Yes, PC Master
Always.
Race all the way.
I've always liked PC games better. Like, I still remember when Diablo 2 came out,
Yes,
and I
that was
was
a great
like
game.
so psyched. I remember waiting in line for like, what was it, like eight and a half hours to
So-
get that.
Diablo 2 was actually my first introduction to PC gaming, and I hadn't
Really?
played it. Yep. And my buddy Tim, he told me, hey, when you start playing, you start off in this little town, and you're going to go to this cave, and that's where you fight the first, like, boss, right? He's like, make sure you level up a little bit before you go in there. I'd never played a Diablo game, never played a PC game, so I said, okay. I spent forever. I was, like, level 23 before I went inside that cave, and I expected to be, like, level 5. And I was like, crush. And I was like, dude, this game's easy as hell.
And then the rest of the game happened.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, this ain't that bad. Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
spoke too soon.
He was like, dude, did you level up? I was like, yeah. I was like, 23. It was pretty easy. He's like, 23? I was like, I didn't know, man. You didn't tell me.
It's a little too high. Little too high.
It was good.
Do you ever have you ever played The Incredible Machine?
No, I haven't played that one.
No.
It's kind of what introduced me. Early 90s game. There's so many games that are similar to it now. Like, you get it's a blank screen, and you have to, different levels, obviously they get harder, but it's like a puzzle you have to put together where, let's just say you have to put the ball in the basket, and then you get all these tools, a string, a gun, a candle.
So you're making a Rube
Oh,
Goldberg
yeah.
machine as the
Yeah.
ball
I
in the
totally
basket?
remember that. I know exactly what
light
you're
the
talking
candle,
about.
it burns the string,
Right.
it pulls the trigger, the anvil falls, that thing knocks that thing over.
I remember two games
Wasn't that made
growing
by
up
Crayola?
on like the first computer. was
I don't think so, but there's other
Castle
games like
Wolfenstein, and a game called Operation Neptune.
I don't know Operation Neptune.
It was, like a little platformer, and it was fun. I remember it. But
I liked,
they were a lot of fun.
I liked the putt-putt games, like Putt-Putt Goes to the Moon,
Never
Freddy
played those.
Fish, Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, Carmen
yeah.
Sandiego.
Doom was a big
Doom
favorite of mine.
and Dune.
SimCity 2000.
I liked
Yeah.
the Sims, the original Sims.
The best.
I mean, still to this
You know
day,
what?
I play
If
Sims.
you want a good city builder game, and it's going to drive you batshit crazy,
Ooh,
'cause
Roller
it's-
Coaster Tycoon.
That's a good
Sorry.
That was
one.
a good one.
But it's
City Tycoon.
so
I don't know
detailed.
what it's called. The
It's
roller coaster.
City Skylines.
Yeah, City Skylines
It's
really
very
good.
detailed.
It's,
So
it's,
good.
it's, it's super detailed.
And that's
hard,
like
too.
SimCity?
It is. It is what the new
It's
SimCity
more,
should have
yeah.
been.
Okay.
It's incredible. It's a lot of fun. Not that I've played it, but I know.
I've got it. It's a lot of fun.
There's a game I really want to play with my family, and it's called
Life.
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I think I might have the title a little bit off. But you've got two people, essentially. One person has got the computer in front of them, and in front of them they can, on the screen, you've got this bomb. And the bomb's got a series of different puzzles on the sides of it. One might be like cut these wires or do this number input. There's a timer in the certain space. There might be a serial number on the bottom of the briefcase. On the back of it, there's a different like color code puzzle. And the other person has the manuals. And based on what type of bomb you have in front of you is the manual to defuse it. And now the person with the manual can't see the bomb, and the person with the bomb can't see the manual. And so they're saying, okay, there's a green wire and a blue wire and a red wire. And it's like, okay, go to page 46 to defuse, cut the blue wire, unless the timer's in the top left corner. Then you have to cut the green wire instead. Only if it has serial number ending in 1123.
Oh my
In that
God.
case, don't cut any wires. It's
I
like,
can only
What's it
imagine
called?
how stressful that
it's
is.
keep talking and nobody explodes.
My anxiety would be through the fucking roof.
You know-
like,
I'd
I don't
love
know
to
if
do
I
that
could do
game.
that.
Do you remember? Did you ever play Paranoia with the photo player?
I played Paranoia the RPG.
Yes.
I played the 3rd edition, I think. 2nd or 3rd edition. Because they're on the 5th edition now, I
Are
believe.
they?
Yeah.
Paranoia is an absolutely insane game. Tremendous
I
amount of fun.
love it.
What is
I
it
love
about?
it so much.
What are you? Are you on a space colony?
Well, it depends on where you set it. You're in a dystopian universe. You are a clone in a dystopian universe with the all-seeing overlord. Could be the camera, it could be a computer.
It just knows everything.
It
like
knows
Miss
everything.
Cleo.
Yes.
And
Miss
knowing the
Cleo.
rules of the game are against the rules.
Yes.
What?
Yes. You're not allowed as a player to know the rules. It's against the rules.
What?
And you have to go through and complete a series of tasks. And at any given point in time, like, you can do something and the computer just kills you.
I remember,
What?
the
Yes.
first time I played, the GM running
So,
the game.
like, can you actually beat it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
It's a role-playing game. But we were playing, and something happened. There was a bad guy, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I'm going to throw my
Something
trusty
spilled.
knife Rita right into his face. And the guy goes, do you have any relevant skills? And I go, I have the skill, throw your trusty knife Rita. And he goes, okay, do it.
Yeah, it's it's ridiculous. We got to play XCOM one day.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, actually, because you got the board game, don't you?
I do have the board game.
That'd be great. I want to get, it's a 4-player game.
It is.
I want to play all 4 players.
By yourself, you could do that.
You can, but I mean with 4 different people.
That's
Oh,
gonna be terrible.
there's a game. I wish I can get enough people to play it, and it's called Submarine Commander or Submarine Master, something along those lines. And you have 2 teams of 5, so you need 10 people, or maybe 2 teams of 4. 2 teams of 4, so
Do
you need
still
8
need 10
people.
people?
You need 8 people. One person's like the captain, one person's like the science officer, one person's in charge of the torpedoes, and one person's like in charge of the sonar. And both sides are all talking at once, and one person's telling the captain like 4 spaces north, and the captain's like, okay, move 4 spaces north, and then like submerge 2. And at the same time, every time you do this, the science officer's looking at the engines, because every time you move, it causes stress or uses fuel. And so he's telling the captain, we've got engine stress, we need to surface. And so he's like, surface. And at the same time, your sonar operator is listening to the other team to try and figure out where they are on the map. And then your torpedo guy is telling you, fire torpedoes to this location.
What's it called?
almost positive it's Submarine Commander.
That sounds fun.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
You've never been 10 meters from your maker?
No.
I mean, I think I've been 30 feet from my mom before. I don't know. Or would it be my dad?
6 feet.
Do you guys ever remember this game called Catan?
Settlers of Catan?
Settlers of Catan,
like,
yeah.
That's like one
I've
of
owned 2
my
copies. They're both
favorite
destroyed.
games.
You do realize that you're talking to a bunch of nerds who do and know nerd things.
This is Nerd Quest.
I like the 6-player expansion.
I think that's something we should probably play together.
Catan's alright. Have you ever played, what was the other one?
Have you ever played Fear?
Which one's
that
Fear?
Was
the
a
video
good
game?
No, the PC game.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, when they're like when you're like a soldier and you have the ghost. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Fear was an acronym, wasn't it? It was like first encounter something
like
response.
action response or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that was like the only game that scared the shit out of me. Like it literally, it creeped me out.
Yeah,
are you trying to censor us now? You're aware I've said like fuck 12 times at least by now.
Oh, are we? Yeah, because we gotta.
I don't give a shit.
Edit and post, right?
Who's this we?
It's true.
Swear.
He's got to edit and post.
Well, no, I already asked him. I was like, you need some help with.
I mean,
edit.
if that's the case, you might as well just get the nice long fuck shit cock balls, out and just one long continuous thing. So just.
I just don't want us to be like demonetized or something. So.
Well, you have to be monetized in order to be demonetized.
That's very true.
And fuck the police.
Straight out of Compton.
Except not actually. Fuck the police.
I'm sorry.
I have a problem with
that
the
game
police.
was called Captain Sonar.
Captain Sonar?
Captain Sonar.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a terrible villain name, though.
It's an awesome game.
Not saying it's not an awesome game, just terrible villain
The
name.
hard part is getting 8 people to play at once.
Do you not know 8 people?
Not who want to play that game at one time.
Right, I could see that being
problematic. I can get 6 off the top of my head, but then getting everybody scheduled to match up too.
Oh God, that's gotta be a nightmare.
I mean, I could make it happen.
Then make it happen.
I don't want to make it happen, though. I said I could. I didn't say I wanted to.
Prove it.
Well, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
On that note,
if I get it done, you have to take me to a nice dinner.
Define nice.
Yeah, what's nice?
Oh, you're taking my fat ass to a Brazilian steakhouse.
I can do that.
Dinner.
That's not gonna be cheap.
That's why I said nice.
Are you gonna wear that outfit?
I could.
Can you explain that outfit?
Well, I have my Captain America shirt because it was the first one on the top to clean clothes.
Oh God, men.
It's a good system.
It is. Then I got my shorts
on.
on.
Do all men do that? Like you're just like, hey, this shirt, this might be clean. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna smell it. And then
I know it's clean.
No
I do my laundry, and then I got my Crocs on because Crocs are awesome.
Or were they just the only shoes that were within reach?
All my shoes are together. They're comfy, and I don't have to put on socks, and I don't have to tie them.
Lord Jesus.
So I put all my clothes. I like my shirts to be hanging up, actually.
Thank you.
In the closet.
That's how I am.
Except
I want
just like being in the closet.
Generic work
nice.
shirts, like Carhartts and like things like that. I just fold them and put them in a drawer because they're all just gray or black.
Right.
Oh. I never finished, and then I got my pineapple shirt on.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
I got my dancing shirt on.
Have you ever danced before?
I have.
Have you danced with somebody?
I have.
Okay.
You want to dance right now?
Yeah, let's see you dance.
Well, I need somebody to dance. I'm white and have no rhythm.
It's not gonna. It's not happening right now.
You don't. Why not?
Hey Tom.
Yeah.
Would you say that shirt is your large Eskimo dwelling shirt?
My igloo shirt?
Your large igloo shirt? Your big igloo shirt?
It would be my big igloo shirt, yes. One of them. I think I'm up to 3 or 4 now.
Because you've also got the Betsy Ross flag behind you.
I do have the Betsy Ross flag behind me, you're right.
To go with your large Eskimo dwelling shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to think about that for a second. You got me.
I still don't get it.
Yeah. And then it conceals my Croatian piece of metal.
Yeah, if you want to get demonetized, we explain that, and it'll demonetize us real quick.
Yes.
No, we haven't even got started yet, and we're already canceled.
But it covers my Croatian metal, and that's all that matters.
Speaking of getting started in the future, very soon, let's all get together and try out some pie.
Yes. Yes.
None of you guys even know where the pie place is. You need me on that pie place.
I am always down to
Of
eat.
course. Let's all get together, go get some pie,
And
test it
eat.
out on
Yeah.
camera.
I want to get pie and I want to get crab legs.
So we're gonna do a mobile podcast
Buy
kind of thing.
crab legs.
Why not? Or just
Yes.
hop in a car and drive.
That's cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, we could do that.
And you're sitting there singing.
So apparently there's this place in Wisconsin.
It is. It's in Wisconsin.
Oh, the
And-
pie place?
Yes.
And
So
that-
what's the deal with that? Where is it in
It's
Wisconsin?
in Wisconsin.
Well,
Where
we're
it
not
says
gonna
specify
It
geometrically
is
where it is
don't
in
reveal it yet.
Wisconsin.
I can't
Do
reveal
not.
that. I can't lose my worth. It's all I'm good for. Good places to eat.
This is true. That's why we keep you around.
Oh, that's what
And
you
then
do.
after
Knowledge
we
of
do
food.
pie, we can do
There's a
cheesecake.
cheesecake place up there too.
Pie and cheesecake in the same day.
No, not on
No,
the
no,
same
no,
day.
Yeah,
no,
that's.
no, no,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no,
I don't know about
no,
that.
no, no, no,
I
no.
don't know about that.
Do you hate me?
I was like,
little
I'm
bit.
a fat guy, but I don't know if I'm that fat guy.
You've had a little bit of my pie.
Right?
It's true, I
It's
have.
good
It's
pie.
delicious pie.
So what I want
show up
is-
in
Your arms.
bodysuits.
The what?
I
How
want
are
people
your
to
arms so
recommend other
hairless?
places for us
I
to
don't
go.
know.
Because
It's always
Tom, you
been like
remember
that.
remember we talked about maybe even going to Texas to try barbecue out.
I
just
would
for
love
a
to
day?
go to. It's
Yes.
$45 right now to fly to Austin.
Like, that's ridiculous to do, but
$45 one way, Austin.
Yeah, so let us know if you have any ideas of what you'd like us to talk about, what you'd like to see us do.
I would like you guys to
Comment
spend
down
$90 to
below.
go to Texas with me, so we could spend the day getting fucking barbecue.
one day, barbecue, come on down, $5.
So-
Did you not? What part of Texas barbecue is $5?
You know,
$45 each way. It's at least 90.
come on down!
Plus the barbecue itself. Well, if you're going to Austin, you said, Tom,
Yes.
there's the one barbecue place actually in the airport.
The Salt Lick doesn't fucking count.
It was pretty good. It was really
It's
good.
okay.
I know
You
because
gotta
I
go
slept in the
there.
airport.
To not leave the airport.
What
Like,
we've really got to do is
I
we
left
got
the
to
airport for
call
like 6 hours
2
and then
weeks
came back, flew
ahead
back home.
so we can get Franklin's to pre-make us some fucking brisket. Because
Franklin's in Texas.
it's in Austin, yes. Because if you're not in line for barbecue at like 6 in the morning, you ain't getting shit when they open at 11.
Really?
Yes.
They sell out like instantly?
Yes.
Damn.
So that's why you have to get at least 5 pounds 2 weeks ahead.
That
All
is-
year round.
I mean,
Yes.
that's a high standard to be set. That means it's got to be pretty
It's
good.
Texas barbecue.
I
It's
love
fucking
brisket,
Texas
too.
barbecue.
5 pounds.
I have to get at least 5 pounds.
Texas is beef brisket, isn't it? Beef barbecue.
It's delightful. I don't know.
And Tennessee is pork barbecue.
There was a place down there called Micklethwaite's, and obviously I've gone to Austin for Austin city limits for the last few years. Not this year though. Sadness.
Thanks, COVID.
So, Diana, you mentioned crab legs.
Yeah, I'm a big let me rephrase that. I don't like all crab legs. I only like snow crab. But I think it would be fun to try out different crab legs from different places.
Do you guys like sushi?
I love
yeah.
sushi.
I love sushi.
I am a big sushi person.
Sushi's okay.
So that would be another thing that we could possibly do.
There's
sushi.
this sushi place just north of O'Hare Airport. I know the area, but it's like a revolving. They're like this little like
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
the plates come on
Oh,
these little
that would be
revolving
cool.
trays.
And
It's
you,
cool.
you keep. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and it's good too. Sushi's not bad.
I've been there.
There's
Yeah.
a sushi place over on like 131st and LaGrange that's solid.
Is that Woo's sushi
I don't know. It was my first experience
or
with
Wow
sushi.
sushi?
So, do we just grab the sushi, come back here,
I
and
think you're thinking of Woo's,
I don't know.
like WUS.
But there was one over there when I was with Alex. We went there and it was solid. I mean, I'm not a sushi person.
My favorite sushi place within a couple miles, like, is the one out in Naperville, and it's called Jin Sushi. The best.
You know who has surprisingly decent sushi for the price? Is Mariano's.
7-Eleven.
Isn't that 7-Eleven? What are you high?
Like, yeah, let's get
Hold
a
on,
trip to the
hold on.
ER tonight.
No, Mariano's. Mariano's actually has decent sushi.
Really?
Mariano's is a solid place.
Yeah. And
I
it's
would
for
never
the
have-
price. I wouldn't say it's like great sushi, but for the price, it's good.
Well, Little Caesars for its price is good.
Well, that's not what I mean.
I like
Does-
Little Caesars.
does Little Caesars
though.
have sushi?
I could only hope.
I don't think so. Anyways.
What's wrong with Little Caesars?
Things are happening.
Do you have to poop?
No, I'm getting hungry now.
Oh.
Well, on that note, I think we should end the episode
Do you
here.
guys want to get some food?
We're wrapping it up.
It's because you have to poop, isn't it? It's okay.
I don't have to poop.
Everybody poops.
That's See, you know what? That's exactly what somebody that has to poop would say.
I'm gonna get
Everybody poops. That's what Poopery is for. Not sponsored, but I wish we were.
No.
Shout
No.
out.
You
out.
do the business and you let everyone else around there suffer.
Poopery is where it is
What's
at.
wrong with you?
I wish
You
we
let
had vaporize.
them suffer. Envy?
We are
No,
horrible people.
vaporize.
Yeah, that's from Envy.
Oh, from the movie Envy?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jack Black.
Yeah.
That's another underrated movie. Where does the poo go?
Where does the shit go?
We were talking about Jack Black.
I
He's
still
making
think he's
good
not
movies,
that great.
and then he's got really bad movies.
Yeah,
He
I
does.
like him all around. He's okay.
He's not that great.
But does he always play the same character?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm okay with that.
Would you go and see a movie that Jack Black was headlining?
Never.
That wasn't Kung Fu Panda.
I like Kung Fu Panda.
That's why I took out Kung Fu Panda, because that's not really Jack Black. That's a cartoon.
But the thing is, like, you go to see a Jack Black movie, you know exactly what you're going to get. Like, to me, Jack Black movies are perfect for background noise. Like, I don't want to do nothing. I see something in the background to listen to. Jack Black.
I can
I could
concede
see that.
Support that.
I could see that.
But most of his movies aren't particularly strong.
No, they're not.
Is there 2 Tenacious D movies?
There's actually
No,
several.
I didn't think there was more than one.
There's
I
at
only knew
least a
about the
few
first one.
shorts.
Yeah, Pick
What?
of Destiny is the only one
There's
I
a
know
few
of.
shorts at the very least.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got a good YouTube channel.
Charlie. Didn't they
He
bring
actually
that
does a
back?
lot.
They did, and I think they finally released the last episode.
Oh, Charlie
Has
the
my sister
Unicorn.
made you watch that yet?
Oh, I've seen them all before. Holly.
Have you watched the llamas with the hats?
Yeah, unfortunately. I'd seen them before earlier, too, and I fell off on them. They just were not.
They finished llamas with hats.
Were not as good. I think
Carl
I've seen them
kills
all.
himself at the end after everyone dies. After
I
he
thought he,
brings
like,
about the
destroyed
end.
the planet. It brought
Spoilers!
about the Armageddon.
Hello.
It's been out for fucking years. It's
Yeah.
your own goddamn
Still.
fault.
I saw that, like, when I was college age.
Do you remember
so.
that one video that was like shoes? Oh my God, shoes!
It's been like 10 years, yeah.
No.
I loved.
I heard
that
they were
video.
trying to bring
You've never
back
seen
the Mighty
that?
Boosh.
That was a good one.
Did you ever watch the Mighty
Greg.
Boosh?
I got him to watch Old Greg.
Oh, that was horrible.
I'm Old Greg.
Old Greg was so bad. There was, like, the first few
You like
seconds of
me?
it were funny, but then after that, it just fell apart.
I am really
So
shocked
not
as to how
good.
hairless you are.
I don't
Stop
know
that.
for me. It's just the way my
I
arms
want you
are.
to
Stop
have
that
hair
right now.
On your arms like I do.
Please.
I don't
Stop
want to.
that.
They're so smooth.
They are. They're very smooth.
This is surprisingly arousing. So
Well, that sounds like Ari's problem.
So then we're going to leave the cameras rolling, right?
comment below. Would you
I
like
knew
to
these
see us
fucking
too?
black
I'm just
couches
kidding.
looked familiar.
I told you.
This
time
is
I
when we
walked
get a
in, I
job
was like-
offer to make $1,000 to $5,000 a day.
I was like, this
Casting
interview's fake.
couches.
There's no
right
real job,
here.
is there?
There won't be a job.
So
Oh,
this,
there's a job to do.
There's a job.
There is
so
a
this
job to
podcast is going to segue right now. Stop that, Tom.
do. It is.
This
It
podcast
is
is
a little
segueing onto
disturbing.
Pornhub.
This is a little
How is it that the
disturbing.
two people that are involved
Stop
in it aren't
that
bothered by it,
now.
but everyone else
He's
is?
very bad. He's turning as red as his Blackhawk
Who's he?
shirt.
Are you
Me?
calling him
And
a
that is
redskin?
not a racial remark.
Are you calling him a redskin?
No, I'm
It's
just saying.
I
true.
think
he's
she
a very-
just called you a redskin.
Oh my
I am.
God.
I am
It
a
was forced.
Now someone's gonna comment like, "Oh, what?
don't
That's
want
her
to.
white privilege coming through." She called him a redskin.
I was
I
offended.
did call him a redskin, though.
He's people when they get uncomfortable, they blush.
But as a redskin and a minority, a POC, I need a white person to stand up for me.
And I am
And
standing
I will
up for him.
stand.
Why would you
It
throw
got so
that at him?
violent. It just got so violent so
Uh-oh.
quickly. Let's not take
You're
it
done?
there. I'm done. I'm ready to eat some food. I think we've been recording for like
Do you have hair
3
on your arms?
hours.
You're going to have to...
Do I have to get over there and touch you?
Ari,
Do you have
Ari.
hair on your arms?
he's my hairless monkey.
How am I the only man here with hair on his arms?
I would not be bragging about having hair
Oh, I
on your
got hair
arms,
on
bud.
my arms.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, he's hairless and he's
Stop!
smooth and
Hairless
sexy.
and beautiful.
Are you hairless?
Not everywhere.
I'm turning the gun on.
Am I the only one who was blessed with having moderately hairy arms?
I don't consider that blessed.
That sounds ancient.
Thomas
Like if
Harris.
you were-
What do
if
you
you were
not need
advanced-
hair on your arms for?
What do you need
hair.
hair on your
Aliens.
arms
Do
for?
aliens
To
have hair?
keep me warm in the winter.
Is that also
No.
your excuse for the fat?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm sorry. That was horrible to say.
That's all right.
Shots fired.
Keeps me warm in the winter, and it makes me someone amazing to cuddle with.
I'm
That
sorry.
part's
I
true.
watch
I
a
can
lot
confirm.
of RuPaul's Drag Race, so shade.
USB disconnected. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I told you we've been recording for a while, so let's.
It
segue
doesn't
out.
matter. Now I'm hurt because I'm...
No,
I've been
no,
fat
I'm
for
so-
forever.
I feel so
Thank
bad.
you. Thank
No,
you for
I'm
making
not.
me self-conscious
I'm
about
not-
my own weight problems.
I'm not fat. I'm not.
I feel I've been
skinny
shamed.
either. I'm not.
I feel I've been shamed. No, I've got my own thank you.
I know, and I'm afraid you're gonna pull it out.
Just gonna
Things are
whip it
getting
out on
whipped out.
camera.
Excuse me while I whip this thing out.
My motherfucking thing.
Don't worry, it's ready to go. I've been stroking Aaron's arm for a while now.
Tom's been ready to go.
I am.
At like a moment's notice.
Where are we going?
That's kind of nice though. When
The
you
funky
don't,
town.
when you don't need those performance enhancers.
Won't you take me there?
The funky town.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for another episode, and we
I just
will
kind of want
see
to keep
you
petting his arm though.
next time.
We will do next
Next
time.
time.
We will be bringing pie to you.
Are you going to put a
cheesecake.
divider in between me so I can't just sit here and do
Yeah.
this?
6 feet, bro.
You do know
Yeah.
that when you sit next to me in the car ride, and your arms are airless, or your arms are hairless, your arms will be airless too.
Arms are-
When your arms are hairless, I'm going to be stroking them too.
When your arms are airless.
Just
Stop.
sit there like that.
Stop, man. People are going to
Just-
think of you in a certain light.
What, that I'm
light is
fat? You're gonna say that too?
I cannot. I am officially done.
I like that you tried to wrap up the podcast like 4 times.
I
now.
have literally tried to say goodbye to you guys like 4
Just go.
times now.
Just
so
go.
Just go. There's the door.
Just
Yeah.
go.
just I'm done.
There's another door that way.
I'm done. I'm hungry. I'm crabby.
Oh, so now you're a hungry hippo?
I have been a hungry hippo.
There's a
Since
hippo out there
first
right now
take.
trying to learn how to swim, and nobody's teaching the hippo.
Because they
Oh my
fucking
god,
can't.
this is horrible. That's so sad.
We could be out there teaching hippos. Does Brookfield Zoo have hippos?
They
Yes.
do. They don't have elephants.
Well, they have pygmy hippos.
The little.
What's the
it's
key
so
word
cute.
there?
Pygmy.
How
Me?
is that the key word?
Pick me. Because they want you to
Hippo.
pick me.
It's still a hippo, is what you're saying.
He's
still a
cute.
hippo.
And he says, pick me.
I don't think they're fucking Pokemon.
Can you bring cameras to the?
Yes, you can bring cameras
Yeah.
to the zoo.
And we could do a podcast at the zoo. Oh!
We should go during Boo at the zoo.
What is?
They
Do
have
what?
dinosaurs at the zoo now.
Boo at the zoo.
You can go to the zoo now. You just have to make an appointment.
You don't know Boo at the zoo? It's the zoo during Halloween.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Zoo
I
lights.
have heard about that. I like the zoo.
Ari,
the zoo
we're
lights during
fucking busy
Christmas
during
are-
Christmas.
All right. So no
Yeah.
podcast during Christmas, not even
Probably
one.
not.
What?
We'll
Not
have to.
even one like little one?
We'll have to remote view it.
We could like Skype it. Or Zoom it.
We will do something if we ever end the podcast today.
Well, the more that you keep wanting to end it, the more it's just going to keep going, and the more I'm going to stroke his arm.
Stop!
I can't. Are we really eating food after this? I'm
No.
hungry.
Go get your own food.
Go eat a hippo. Don't.
Why not?
What does hippo taste like?
Probably hippo.
Like bald eagle.
So it tastes like
Oh,
freedom?
my
Delicious.
God.
America is crying right now.
It's been crying.
All right, you guys, tune in next time. Another episode. I'll put this away for next time. And
You've got to come up with a good like wrap it up quip. Or, like
no,
little,
she already wrapped it up. There's
phrase.
nothing. I can't top that.
no, like
Yes, you can.
Go ahead. You try it. Go
So
ahead.
you're the bottom?
I think you're right. I think
think
you're
you
a
might be
Go,
very-
so go ahead. Somebody
very
wants to wrap it
strong
up.
power
wrap it
bottom.
up.
I didn't say I wanted to wrap it up. I said you needed to come up
Say
with
goodbye.
some sort of
Come on down. Say
I don't
goodbye.
see why it needs.
phrase.
I don't see why you need to have a big one, but you want me to end it?
Don't see why
Don't
you need to
look
have
at
a
me,
big
not-
one.
You ready for? Because once I end it, you got to cut it off.
Get ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, fuckers. We'll see you in a couple weeks when we go eat some motherfucking pie. Good night, everyone.